ballpark, but don't miss the cookies.
Hey Knoxville! Surfside iced tea and vodka, made with real brewed tea, is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside, or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Good morning, Fan Run Nation. We've reached another midweek moment. Let's keep counting the days till football together. Big show for you today. First off, football practice is underway for the Vols, which makes all of us happy. You know what else makes us happy? It's when we learn that a potential All-American that we thought may not be a part of the Vols' plans this season is going to be on the squad after all. Hell, he's on the field as we speak. We heard about Boo Carter's status and more from Josh Heupel yesterday, and we'll discuss what we think it all means. Also, is there really a quarterback competition? Because based on what we're seeing and hearing, it sure feels like the QB1 job is Joey Aguilar's to lose. And Jermod McCoy, what's really going on in regards to Mod's status? We'll discuss it all in hour one. We'll also get some perspective on Boo and much more on the Vols from one of the all-timers when it comes to Tennessee football and college football coverage when ESPN's Chris Lowe joins the program in hour two. Really excited to chop it up with Chris. And then in hour three, Jake Crain of Crain & Company hops on to talk ball with us and what he thinks about all the peacocking that happened at last week's media days. It's all headed your way on a Here Comes Football edition of Under Review. Let's fire it up right now.
From the studios of Fox Sports Knoxville, it's time for Under Review with Bob Baskerville on Fan Run Radio.
Welcome. It's middle of the week, people. Wednesday, hump day, opening day for practice, couple days to the weekend, 31 days till football time in Tennessee. Less than 2 days away till NFL football happens tomorrow. And also 24 days till week 0, college football taking place. It's all starting to converge. We are here for it, and we are happy about it. We are coming to you live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios of Fan Run Radio. This is Under Review. I'm your host, Bob Baskerville, joined as always by Sam Beard, Brett Hollander here across the way, too, in the production booth, along with Jake Jenkins. And you, the listener, we appreciate you spending time with us, however you choose to do that, whether it's live on the radio, 1340 on the AM dial, or over on the FM side, 105.7, maybe a live stream on fanrunradio.com, or you're streaming us live on the free Fan Run Radio mobile app. Maybe you check us out as a podcast later. That's cool too. Wherever you listen to your podcasts, we're there. And then there's video. There's also Fan Run TV on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Starting to build up some momentum there. We really appreciate that. We're also available on video on Facebook and X. As the story goes, however you choose to consume your media these days, Fan Run Radio's somewhere, wherever you go, whether it's social media, whether it's what we're doing with the shows, we're there. And we appreciate you spending time with us, supporting the brand, supporting our show. You can also be a part of the program on a live basis. Let us know what's on your mind. Phone lines are open. The text box is open as well. The same number works for both. Area code 865-966-3435. That's 966-3435. We're also available on X. You can hit us up over there at Fox Sports Knox. Got a big show today, people. Looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. Got a lot to talk about. Football practice is underway, so now it feels real. It is happening. And then tomorrow night when they kick off that Hall of Fame game, football will rule the day. Feels good. We waited a long time to get this close, and it's going to fly by now. I believe it. With that said, let's say hello to the rest of the gang. Sammy, happy Wednesday. How are you doing?
Happy Wednesday. Doing just fine. ball going on this morning. Felt good to sit down, open up the Twitter feed this morning and be able to see some highlights, some guys in pads in the orange and white. Continuing to see NFL training camp rolling along with the pads going and Titans camp and everything like that. Getting pieces of training camp news all around the league. Fantasy football stuff starting up here soon. Got a chance to finally watched Happy Gilmore last night. Got that one under my belt.
All right,
it was pretty solid.
Yeah, give it a grade.
I mean,
give it a letter grade.
Just like a B- maybe, something like that. Too many cameos for my liking,
right?
Like we said yesterday, and as I officially got my taste of it, I can confirm just too many cameos. Like Alex Earl has no business being in Happy Gilmore 2. Nobody cares about her that wants to watch Happy Gilmore. There's just like 4 to 5 people that popped up in the movie that I was just like, that was really forced. Why we put these guys in there?
Right.
And so some of that was kind of old. It almost felt like it was like SNL skits just mashed together into like a 2 hours kind of. But ultimately, it was still a pretty solid movie. It's not going to beat Happy Gilmore 1 by any means, but for a sequel, I guess, of a classic movie, it didn't just like make me mad.
Yeah.
But I didn't go away from it being like, man, that was a fantastic rendition of Happy Gilmore 1.
Yeah. Look, I'll make a prediction here. I don't think it's too it's not much of a hot take. There won't be a Happy Gilmore 3.
No.
That was it's okay. So you've seen it, and I think we're all aligned on too many cameos. And it's just hard, man, when a movie was like, it makes me really admire what they did with Top Gun Maverick, because
that's true.
Yeah, it's hard to emulate something that was so popular 30 years ago. Times change, sensitivities change, all sorts of stuff changes, and it feels like Top Gun pulled it off without an issue. Felt like Happy Gilmore. To me, that's all. It just felt kind of like I laughed at some stuff. I don't want to make it sound like it just sucked, but it was like, man, it's kind of tired, man.
It took me probably, I would say, close to an hour into the movie to get to more than maybe like 3 times I laughed out loud.
Yeah.
There were a few good things, but yeah, it was just the beginning of it did kind of throw me off a little bit. Just a lot of cameos. You're like, is this just going to be about Adam Sandler being a drunk the whole time? And then it finally gets going a little bit. But yeah, it wasn't. You're right. I do think I think the second Top Gun definitely was able to kind of get a lot closer to like original Top Gun than Happy Gilmore 2 to Happy Gilmore 1.
Yeah, that's it. Glad they tried. I'm sure Adam made a bunch of money.
Yeah. Well, yeah, those streaming numbers were something.
Yeah, that was a record, right?
Yeah.
Was that what you sent, Brett? Was it?
Yeah, 46.7 million over 3 days.
I mean,
opening weekend or whatever.
It had my attention. Like I said, I was like, I got to go check it out, you know, but once it was over, I was like, okay, I checked it out.
It was a good timing for it to come out, things like that. So
yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Brett, how are you?
Pretty good. I played a little soccer last night. Been a little bit for me to get back out there, so that was good. Run around a little bit and get done with that, and find out Acuna's hurt. And so it's just like goes from bad to worse from being a Braves fan this year. It's one of the most disappointing seasons I've been a part of for the Braves and things like that. So it sucks for him with this big game on the weekend, because it sounds like he's definitely out for that. So just tough all around. We'll see what they do at the trade deadline, if anything. So tough season, but other than that, doing good, ready for some football and all that. So I guess I was way off on my boo takes.
So a quick Braves question, and we won't go too deep because nobody cares about my fantasy baseball team, but I had a guy go on the IL, which meant I could pick somebody up. And he was available. I went ahead and picked up Michael Harris. I know he has sucked this year, but it feels like the last couple of weeks he's playing better, right?
He actually, he's actually been like really good since the All-Star break, which has been just honestly kind of a good like culmination of what the Braves season
have been okay,
yeah, it's just
second
like
half,
something goes terribly wrong for a long period of time, and then some guy gets back into the mix and is actually decent. Then you get Ronald Acuna getting hurt, and you're just like, can we stack a couple good days with this team ever?
I mean, we're picking up pitchers that are like 3-11 on the season.
Yeah.
It's not good because you have nothing. It's crazy. You just have nothing. Like, you're supposed to have all these pitchers in the farm system. I don't know where they are, but it's just not good to be a Braves fan right now.
Right, your whole opening day 5-man rotation.
I think Strider's the only one.
Yeah, that was.
Oh yeah, and he wasn't even ready opening day.
But they're all the other ones are out now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides
we'll
Strider.
see if Sale's still around come the trade deadline. His name's been rumored.
It's Jared Clinic time again.
Wow. Jake, you doing okay over there?
I'm doing all right. Went to orientation yesterday after the show, and
At the SIP?
at the Pelly.
Yeah.
It was all right. The only reason I had to go was to get my school ID, and they told me everything I've already known. It was a little boring. And then, of course, when I'm in line for school ID, all their computers crash, so they tell me to come back sometime next week.
Wow.
Waited in line for like 15 minutes. So yeah, bit of a letdown.
Said I want it now.
Yeah.
Speaking of, well, not computers going down, but just back in mid-June, I went and I had to renew my license. My driver's license was going to expire in late June, and it's, nowadays it's that whole, or it was late July. That was it, late July. And it's this whole, got to have the star and all that. So I was like, hey, I'm doing this a month ahead of time. We'll be fine. So I went. They give you a paper version, so you're covered till you get the other one. And at that time, they said it'll be 20 to 30 days before you get the new one. I said, wow, okay. That seems like a lot based on how it used to be, but that's fine. Well, again, that was mid-June, and we're now at the end of July. And as of yesterday morning, I still had not received it. And my hard copy of my license was expired. Got the paper one. That's fine, but it's like something's up. So I stopped over at the license branch yesterday after the show, which, by the way, you always forget that is an interesting cross section of people that come into that place, because it's everybody, right? Everybody, needs their license or their plates or whatever the case may be. So I get in there, it's absolutely packed, and I'm waiting in a line just to get to a kiosk, which is for check-in. But it was the same lady who helped me the last time. So I waited not too long. It was like 5-ish minutes. And then I get to her and I said, hey, here's the deal. You even helped me. My license, went through the whole detail. And she goes, what's your name? And I gave her the name. She goes, what's the last 4 of your social? I give her that. She goes, can you give me that again? I gave her that again. And then she goes, are you sure that that's your social? And I was like, from birth, yes. Pretty aware of it. She goes, it's weird, it's not coming up. And then she finally gets it. And I said, because you guys told me 20 to 30 days. She goes, well, now it's 30 to 45 days before you get your license. And so then she tracks it down and she goes, you know what? She goes, they just printed it on July 24th. Okay, so 5-6 days ago. And she said, so it'll be going out in the mail. And I go, so that should be soon, right? She goes, probably 2 more weeks. And I was just like, man, what is happening here? And then I get home and I open my mailbox and there's my license.
Nice.
So
nice.
Yeah. I mean,
They don't know what they're doing.
It's bad, man. I mean, and again, I don't know. It's just kind of what Jake just said about what's going on over at his soon to be school of choice. It's a weird time in our country in general, but it just feels like so many things that used to be so simple, they've gotten very, very difficult all of a sudden. And I don't know, we talk about all the national budget cuts and stuff. I'm not sure if that really impacts state organizations like the DMV or what's going on, but it was weird. 45 days to get your driver's license, just a plastic card printed, feels like a lot.
So your old one was just getting expired. It was expired, or you had the gold star already?
I had the gold star already, but it expired on July 25th.
Okay.
So it expired about a week ago. And again, I had a paper version of the new one. So they said, just hang on to this if anything happens. So I'd had that in my car, but still I was kind of like, man, I want the real deal.
I try to avoid having to go to one of those places at all costs.
It's rough.
That wedding I had up in Chicago was the first flight I've had to take since the Gold Star was implemented, and I was just like, I'm bringing my passport. I'm not getting the new ID before this whole thing.
Yeah. Now I'm good for 8 years. That's the upside.
Yeah, considering you probably didn't change your picture and you just need the date. One thing changed on an ID.
Yeah, because
everything else stays the same.
Right. We even changed addresses like 2 years ago. No, longer than that. It's been about almost 4 years ago, but I had that license and I went in and got that part changed in the blink of an eye. They did that like on the spot. So I had, you're right, everything except
like the expiration date.
That was it. That was
like
all.
Maybe the day it was issued or whatever. You
Yeah.
know, like everything else should be the same. How long can it?
Yeah, give us a month and a half to work on that.
Unless you want a new picture. I don't know if they recommend that or make you do that.
They made me do one, but it's
it's easy.
It
shouldn't take that long. You would think they just print it right there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. At least you can go online and do your registration for your car. You don't have to go in and do all that, which is nice, you know.
You're right.
You know, but yeah, it's still a pain.
You're right. Oh man. So camp's open, obviously. There's activity. We got video already. Like we said in the show open, Boo is out there on the field, really just kind of doing like calisthenics and stretching and whatnot. But saw some video, Joey doing some pocket work. Joey's all over the local news.
He is.
I mean,
Jake's just forgotten in this whole mess, which is crazy.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that because, again, Josh keeps saying it's a quarterback competition, but boy, it sure doesn't feel like it right now.
It's crazy.
But we're excited. We're excited. We got a big show to talk about today. We appreciate you joining us. We've got Chris Lowe, who will be joining us for the first time. Obviously a pretty highly esteemed journalist, Knoxville local kid, went to UT. He's not from here, but he's lived most of his life here, went to UT, and he lives here now. He'll be spending time with us. He's a guy who came out first with the boost stuff yesterday, about 20 minutes before Josh spoke, but we'll talk with him. Got Jake Crain as always on Wednesdays. I'm sure he's going to be off the hook on some things. We'll have to talk to him about Happy Gilmore too, by the way, because he's got some thoughts there. Got a little bit of not for nothing, but we'll be doing that in the third hour. So a lot to cover today. So we, again, appreciate you joining us. You can weigh in with your thoughts on what your takeaways were from Josh Heupel's comments. Is there anything, do we feel better or worse after we heard some of his comments? We're going to break those down here in a moment, but just let us know what you're thinking. Quick timeout, but when we're returning, topic A, Josh Heupel speaks. Tennessee football is on the field. We'll talk about fall camp right after this. You're listening to Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
For the fans, by the fans, this is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Believe in family. Believe in your fellow man. Believe in honesty and an honest day's work. We do. We're Farm Bureau Insurance. And we don't just believe in Tennessee. We believe in Tennesseans. Farm Bureau Insurance, Tennessee's insurance company.
This is Baseball VFL Cody Brown. Farm Bureau Insurance is the official insurance for Tennesseans. Believe in me for all of your insurance needs. Give me a call at 865-992-3871.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Knoxville, mark your calendars. Fan Run Night at the ballpark is back. Join us Wednesday, August 6th at Covenant Health Park as the Knoxville Smokies take on Biloxi and we take over the stands. It's all you can eat night, so make sure to bring your appetite. Plus, we're hooking up the fans with exclusive Fan Run swag giveaways you won't want to miss. Come hang with the Fan Run crew, rep your team, and enjoy a summer night of baseball, food, and fun. Fan Run Night, August 6th. Be there. Sick of Googling the best bets for tonight and coming up short? Tap into the slate presented by VIP Play, East Tennessee's only on-air gambling show. I'm William Pattison, and every weekday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern, I'm giving you sharp analysis, trends, and picks for college football, the NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. If it's on the books, we've got you covered. It's the slate presented by VIP Play, weekdays at 6 on Fan Run Radio.
Hey, Pack Rat. Yeah, you. Are you moving cross country and you just don't know who to call? Call us right now. Listen, you've probably seen one of our containers in your neighborhood, but did you know that we can help you move anywhere in the United States? It's real simple. We'll drop a container off at the location you tell us to bring it to. You pack up your valuable possessions at your leisure. They stay safe right in your home. And when you're ready, call us. We'll come and pick up the container and give you a scheduled date of when your furniture and the other possessions will be at your new home. So if you're moving across country or across town, be a Pack Rat. Join the Pack Rat family. Call Pack Rat right now for your free quote. See y'all later, Pack Rats.
Call 800-965-1298. 800-965-1298. 800-965-1298. That's 800-965-1298.
Topic A for today, Tennessee football. Josh Heupel speaks, which means football is back. He kicks off Tennessee's fall camp with a media day availability yesterday. We also heard from some of the other assistants as well, Housley, Banks, etc. Josh cut to the chase on Boo Carter. Breaking news, Boo's staying, Sam. I don't know if you're aware.
Back.
But feels like in some words, not so many words, but some words, it was pretty clear. Boo's currently in a bit of a timeout, I think. As I'm paraphrasing what Josh said, but said that Boo still has some things he needs to work on and to do to satisfy team requirements. I don't know. I think the vibe on this overall feels pretty positive, but not going to lie, it's still a little nebulous because we're not sure what it's going to mean. I think Josh, what he was saying without saying it was there's going to be some consequences for Boo, right? As there should be. But I don't know what the depth of that'll be. It's being talked about by all the people on the beat around town. We'll probably talk about it with Chris Lowe too. Does it mean he's just going to pay the price in practice, or does it mean he's going to get a suspension, or is he just not going to start some games? We're just not really sure. But Sam, after you heard it yesterday, a little bit anticlimactic. We were hearing some of the rumors floating around, but now it's real. How are you feeling about it now?
I mean, I thought Josh Heupel gave us great insight into the whole situation on what's been going on. I mean, he does nothing but give you in-depth looks at the program and
keeps it real.
Yeah, no coach speak at all there. Other than that, I mean, I think this is kind of what you were. I think it's what you were expecting to see if you did see Boo Carter back on the team. I don't think it was just going to be hey, Boo Carter's back and he's going to be practicing fully for us, and we're hoping for him to be the starting star guy on our team, and we're going to be playing him on offense. He's going to be our punt and kick returner type of thing. No, I mean, I think Josh Heupel definitely did a good job of kind of saying, yeah, Boo Carter is back on the team. He will be playing with us this fall. Is it just sunshine and rainbows now and we're just going to act like nothing happened? Absolutely not. He's still got a ways to go in terms of kind of winning some of the team back over, winning some respect back over, probably in that locker room. And he mentioned that leadership council on the team and how big that is every year, but especially when it kind of comes to a situation like this, when it seemed like there were maybe some guys on that leadership council that took a liking to some of the things that Boo Carter has been doing this offseason. So I think he's got to win back the trust and the respect of the coaches as well as the team. And I would guess that that's going to be kind of a slow build up, and they're going to kind of give him maybe some kind of dirty work to do in the first couple of days of fall camp and say, hey man, like there's no complaining about this one here. You know, we've got to be able to do the little things right and get this stuff done. And then we'll get you back on the field practicing. And kind of like I was saying earlier this week, you hope time heals all wounds here. But yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely going to be kind of a get back right process for Boo Carter, not only with the coaches, but with the team as well.
And he deserves every bit of it.
Yeah.
Honestly, just based on what we've heard. Yeah, I was just reading back through some stuff and you nailed it. I mean, Josh is he's one of the GOATs when it comes to telling the truth, but really not sharing much, you know, as he said about Boo. Boo is a part of our team. That's it. I mean, he said about other things, but you know what I mean? He wasn't like, he's critical to what we're doing. And, you know, this is a big moment for us. He's just like, he's a part of our team and he's going to have to work on some stuff.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes.
I also really don't think he knew where Boo was to even give a reason like why he was missing.
Yeah.
Like it sounded, I mean, heck, the agent didn't know, you know, hey, he's got a new agent. I didn't know, you know, so I think he really didn't know what was going on.
You know where he's at now.
Yeah.
He's like, but don't ask me about before.
Yeah.
And we'll talk with Chris about this in hour 2, but one of his posts yesterday, Chris Lowe said, important to remember here that the leaders on Vol Football's team made a pact that all players would be held accountable this year. They're the ones Carter has to win over and get back on the field, and 100% in good graces. Again, no more mulligans. So that's interesting because that's numbers at that point. You know what I mean? That's a lot of dudes. So, and maybe that funnels through that, whatever I keep messing it up. I'm calling it, you know, executive council, council of elders, leadership council, whatever he calls it. It sounds like those guys, and that's a small number. That's really where it's going to filter through, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the other thing, I wanted to get your guys' take on this. It seems to me, given what has to happen here for Boo, at least the way we're kind of whiteboarding it here, is the whole concept of him playing, you know, being on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, feels like playing offense would be kind of a reward right now. I just would be surprised if that's in the near-term plans. I bet it's not. That's just my 2 cents. What are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I could see that for sure. You know, I mean, maybe those first couple games of the season, Syracuse, he doesn't get any looks on offense.
Yeah.
You know, what is it, UAB the second week of the year? I can't remember which cupcake we play in the second week of the year. But ETSU. Okay, yeah. I would imagine maybe like those first 2 games, he doesn't really go on offense. Maybe you mix a couple things into Georgia. I don't know. I think you're right, though. I think you could start to see the first couple weeks of the season where it's like, all right, go show us what kind of guy you were on defense last year as well. And we'll let you do the punt return stuff as well in terms of special teams.
Right.
But we're not just going to throw you back into the fire and give you everything that you want after you didn't really meet us in the middle in the offseason.
Yeah. Brad, agree or disagree?
No, I agree. You're not getting this catered in any of this guy wants right now. You know, it sounded like that was one of the demands, you know, when he supposedly was entering the portal before he re-upped his contract, was he wanted to play more offense and things like that. He's got no leg to stand on or whatever you want to describe it. So I'm just wondering where he is. I'm getting a mental check on him first and foremost before I'm, you know, putting him out anywhere on that field, because if he's not there and working hard, then, you know, he's just going to have to sit until he proves otherwise.
So two-way Boo, we feel, is on hold. If you were asking us,
I just don't know what kind of role he'd have on the offense. Like, what is his?
Yeah.
What do you have him invent? Like a reverse or
yeah,
you know, a screen? Like, I don't know. Like there was talk about D. Williams doing that for a little bit, you know, as well. We never saw that at all. So I don't see what role he has on the offense either.
Yeah.
Long term or just
I just don't know what do you envision him like if he comes on offense? What's he doing? Just standing next to the quarterback? He's a threat there.
I mean, I thought you were talking all offseason about how much we need Boo on offense, Brett, with the motion stuff and how we need to be a little
I
bit
agree,
more
but I
creative.
don't until I see that like we're doing that. Then I don't know. I'm trying to envision where he fits in now on offense and things like that. But I mean, you got to have your playmakers on the field, and he's one of our best playmakers too.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, again, I'm with you, Sam. It's like we recruited you because of your acumen on defense. Go do that. Go excel at that again and show us that you're a part of the team. And, you know, as Coach has said famously at this point, no one's bigger than the T, the power T. So do that. And then we'll see if you're, the other stuff will be TBD, as it were. But do we still feel that this is a rental, kind of like a 5 to 6 month?
Yeah, 100%. He's not going to be back with Tennessee next year. Unless something just incredible happens to him in terms of just like having an unbelievable season, and probably would have to turn into having a really good season, like in terms of the two-way type of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think it is pretty set in stone for me at this point that Boo Carter's probably not of all, 2026 and beyond.
That's why I was like thinking about that. Like, why would you bring him back for a rental guy? Like, why would you put him back on the roster? But then you think about anybody on that team as a rental. Like anybody is
right?
Free to leave. Like anybody on the team, But
Yeah.
like this guy's so checked out. That's why I worry about him and our team with him on the field.
Yeah, it's definitely a risk reward play, right? He's so incredibly talented that's I'm guessing is why Josh is like, let's see what we can do. And it wouldn't surprise me that if Josh has got the mindset of the same thing we're just saying, like, hey man, the season's only this long. Let's just power through. If we can get some productivity from him, great. If he doesn't see things our way early, then he's just gonna be out of the mix, period.
Yeah, he's on a short lease, no doubt.
Yeah, there's no doubt at all. Let's jump to the phone lines. Got Rusty calling in. I'm imagining he has a few thoughts here. Rusty, what's happening, man?
Trying to clear the cobwebs. It's like I told Brett, still haven't finished my first cup of coffee, so I'm not at my tip top at the moment, Bob, but I'll do my best.
Yeah, you better try, man. Now, what's on your mind?
What if Boo's absence and him not being around and everything that's been going on wasn't because he's a bad kid or a punk or a derelict? I mean, the one extreme we've heard is he killed 4 people in Chattanooga, and Chattanooga police has been in touch with campus police and Knoxville PD, and there's a joint investigation to possibly bring them on terrorist charges. I mean, that's some of the idiotic rumors we've heard throughout this, which is the crazy extreme one side of what's going on. What if the other side is he's a good kid who's going through mental stuff, has family issues? What if there's things in his life that we don't know about, and he's not a bad kid, he just has been going through stuff? Does that change our perception of him?
We talked
about
we
can also out rumors, which is there's been plenty of those. So I'm throwing out a rumor that maybe he's a really good kid and he's just been going through bad times at home or with a grandmother or who knows what that's been rough on him. And we all go through bad times.
Sure. We talked about that a little bit. I mean, I've kind of gone through the range of emotions or reactions to this in the last week and a half, where I started out with, he's a kid, I was absolutely trying to compartmentalize whatever the rumors were about Chattanooga activity and all that stuff. I was like, I'm going to focus mostly on what's happening here or what's not happening here. And at the moment of the beginning of this, I was like, I just think maybe he's a kid who, is just acting a fool. But I'll tell you, the one wrinkle that changed my perception on it was the way they've handled the whole situation with the agent. And that is, to this day, it sounds like his former agent has still never been formally notified that he is now Boo's former agent. He's got this other agent, Omar Cooper. And I just think that got me in the mindset then of, okay, then this feels more strategic to me. Just given the history too, man, what he did at the beginning of the year in terms of going in and asking for more money and everything else. So that kind of led me to that point. I mean,
do you remember the movie Johnny Be Good with Anthony Michael Hall back in late 90s? He was the #1 high school football player in America, quarterback, small town Louisiana, I think, and he goes on all these visits. Do you remember that movie?
I do.
God, Robert A. Jr. was like his best buddy and his backup quarterback on his high school team who never played. It's a hilarious movie. The younger generation need to go check it out. It's funny. But the opening scene is them like playing in the state championship game. Then they're like at his house the next day with his family. And there's like coaches outside the house trying to like climb in through windows. He's trying to get out of the house. That's how I picture these agents, the way coaches used to be like just camping out on these high school recruits. I mean, was it strategic by him, or is it these kids are having these sleazy, no good agents hounding them all the time, calling family members, getting their moms involved? You know what I mean?
No, it's very possible. Yeah, that's fair to say. I would add one other thing too, because some of the things you were talking about to kick this off, other extenuating circumstances, whether they're real or otherwise. This is also about I feel like your crew. And what I mean by that is
skirmish.
Yeah. Well, no. What I was going to say was, is anybody speaking up on his behalf besides his mom, basically, who went on some hard to interpret diatribe last week on social media? Like, no friends, anybody talking about, hey man, this guy's in the middle of a struggle for this reason, or you know what I mean? Sam, does that make any sense to you? Like, if that was a factor, I just feel like there should be somebody on his behalf stepping up. By the way, where the hell's his agent in this too? Except to your point,
nobody's
Rusty.
speaking.
Yeah,
Nobody.
The only,
his agent. I mean, either agent.
Yeah,
haven't said anything, but a lot of us struggle alone.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah,
I have days that I'm melancholy to the 10th degree, and nobody ever knows.
Yeah. Well, and so think about that. And there's many, like you said, many friends of mine, et cetera. It's big of you to say that, and keep it raw like that. And that's great. But this is a kid, by the way, too. You know what I mean? And it's like this guy, he might not even know the way. I don't want to turn this into there's mental health issues with Boo. We don't know. No. But there's a lot to handle. There's a lot of adult stuff he has to manage, and he's probably not good at managing it. I think that's what we're seeing, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just you've got a young kid with a lot of money on his hands right now that's got probably multiple people pulling him in different directions. And I just think it kind of gets to a point where some of that you kind of lose sight of the end goal and what really is kind of the most important in the process of not only getting Boo to become a really successful college player, but a guy that has the ceiling to go be a really successful player professionally. And so I just think you've probably just, it's a culmination of kind of not having your priorities set straight. And you've got different people that are probably telling you that you need to have a different set of priorities, and his head's probably spinning with all of it, and doesn't exactly know like which decision is kind of best to make. And so we obviously saw, maybe not the most mature response from the guy, but clearly it's Josh Heupel's wanting to give this guy a second chance, and it's up to him to kind of make that second chance right with the coaches and the team.
Yep. So the other side of the coin isn't just his standing. I believe he's got to go through a bunch of hurdles. He's got to prove to his teammates in the council that he's willing to do what it takes to be back in their good graces and one of them again, one of us again. But the other aspect is defense, offense, special teams. Multiple people I really, really trust have said that the council was against him being brought back. Banks and Martinez were against him being brought back for all the time that he's missed. And it was, if he was coming back, it was going to be Heupel that said he just drew a line in the sand. What if Martinez and Banks don't want him back on defense and he's just going to come return kicks and play offense?
Fair question. I don't know.
I don't think you would have brought back a guy just to return punts, to be honest with you, Rusty.
No, but play offense.
Kind of to Brett's point earlier, I don't know if there's like a defined enough role for him on offense to kind of be willing to take on some of the baggage that he's bringing on with him. I think it's just, you look at what you have without him at the star position, and it's almost nothing. So I think Josh Heupel was looking at it and was like, you know what, Tim Bakes and Willie Martinez, I know that you guys are not exactly ecstatic about this kid coming back, but I look at kind of the depth of that position and how important of a role that is on our defense. And I would guess Josh Heupel didn't feel all that confident with what was behind Boo Carter, so he was kind of willing to take a risk on the locker room type of stuff, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, also, a kick returner can win you football games. D. Williams won us the Texas A&M game 2 years ago. True. Almost single-handedly.
I just don't know if I totally get your point, and you're right. Like, D. Williams did win us that game essentially, and I do think that maybe with some question marks on offense, having a guy like a playmaker like that to return kicks and punts is worth it. But D. Williams, I also don't think was a headache in the locker room type of thing, and so I don't know if you're going to go out there and say like, hey, does the special teams aspect of this guy
you're right.
Does that outweigh kind of the negatives that are maybe bringing back to the locker room?
No, you're right. I'm playing devil's advocate more.
Sure, no, 100%. I got you.
No, I think he comes back and he plays the nickel corner, whatever we call it, the star, whatever our term for it is. I believe that because, like you said, I mean, the Hood kid, Gibson, and hopefully McCoy's back by Georgia, maybe. Turrentine, and I'm not sure who the other safety is. I guess Farouk. Where there's not a ton of proven out there, so any guy we can get out there, great. But I mean, you're probably right. Heupel said, guys, to Banks and Martinez, if the kid's going to come back, and if he does the right things and gets on the straight and narrow, then let's give the kid a second chance to prove himself that he can be here for us this year. And I know those guys are perfect. Those two coaches are perfect, and they've never made mistakes in their lives. So I get why they didn't want to give a second chance, but Yeah.
Hey, Rusty, appreciate you hopping on with us.
Y'all are the best.
We're gonna bounce, man. Thank you so much, and have a good day. Okay.
See you, man.
See you, buddy.
See you, Rusty.
Later.
Let's hit a break. When we return, we're going to continue. We've talked pretty much about Boo, and with good reason, but there's some other players that we need to address. What's the quarterback situation? What's the Jermod McCoy situation? Apparently Lance Hurd looks like $1 million physically, all those things. We'll talk about it all when we return. Stick around. You're listening to Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
Big Orange Country's home for sports. This is Fan Run Radio.
Ready to launch your career? Axle Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy. With an award-winning culture, Axle proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axle, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axle Logistics is the place to start your career.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com.
Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet. Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
Citizens National Bank.
We make it easy to save money. Get access to thousands of discounts on shopping, dining, and travel with the C&B Plus Perks account. It's a powerful new way to save money with roadside assistance, cell phone protection, identity theft protection, and credit monitoring. Banking at C&B has its perks. Call or stop by a branch for more details.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back. Final segment, hour one, continuing the conversation on our Vols. We talked a lot about Boo Carter, like I said, with good reason, but there are certainly other key players that got brought up yesterday in Josh Heupel's media availability. Top of the list, and this is one that I think gives us all pause, is Jermod McCoy, who, first of all, he's on many preseason, not just all SEC, but all American projections. But when asked about Jermod McCoy's status, Josh Heupel says there's no timetable on his return. And Sam, all I could think was, that's a bigger concern right now than Boo Carter's status.
Yeah. I mean, did you take that as like you think it's going to take him longer to get back, or I just took it as like Josh Heupel doesn't like to say anything to the media, so he's not going to report on any injury that we already know about.
Yeah, there might be some hand wringing on my part, because you're right. That is, again, we talked about it earlier. That's Josh's style,
right?
He could be very truthful saying there's no timetable, but in his mind, timetable may be like, does that mean he's going to be able to start against Syracuse?
He's not going to play against Syracuse, in my opinion. He's not going to play for the first 2 weeks of the season, in my opinion. I would be, if I was, putting on my fake medical hat, I would be circling week 3, September 13th against Georgia as the hopeful target date. And maybe not even that, maybe it's just like, hey, let's just make sure that you are 100%. I know that Georgia is a really important game, and would you like to have your All-American corner against a Georgia team? Absolutely. But do you want to risk him maybe getting injured again or something like that early in the season? Or do you want to maybe just say, hey, let's try and do what we can in this secondary without him for the Georgia game, let him sit another week for UAB, and then bring him back for, Mississippi State in week 5, or even if you just are saying, I want to have him healthy for the stretch run in the back half of my season, can you get through the first 5 games of the season that aren't all that difficult, and then you have a bye week after that? Can you kind of get through that stretch at, hopefully 4-1 type of thing? And if you can get through 5 games of your season at 4-1 without your All-American corner, and then you go into a bye week just knowing that you're going to have a fully healthy All-American corner for kind of that stretch run. To me, that's kind of what I interpret as like no timetable on him. Is just kind of, it's not the hardest start to the season in my opinion, and so I just don't exactly think they're going to be dying to rush him back and make sure that he's, if he's 95% by UAB, I don't think they're going to go and force him back out onto the field. I think they're just going to say, hey, we want to have a 100% All-American corner.
So when we get into the teeth of the SEC games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think, honestly, I think Georgia's a toss-up. I mean, that would be a rapid recovery in terms of ACL rehab, right? I mean, because we're only talking about 9 months, and that's deep into the regular season. And that just feels like that's a lot. And it can happen. I don't question that. But again, that is definitely on my mind because it wasn't a shocker he said it. It's just a reminder that this guy's not quite ready and he shouldn't be. So we just got to accept that.
In my opinion, you put it into like a 3-game context of like, do you want Jermod McCoy for Syracuse, Georgia, and Mississippi State, or do you want him for Alabama, Oklahoma, and Florida? That's kind of the way I look at it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Brent, what's your thoughts on this with Jermod?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, you're looking at only 6 months right now, so you got another month till the season. I'm like Sam. I think you wait to the back end of the schedule. I think you got Colton Hood too, so you got some recover there as well. So I'm waiting.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about quarterback because we talked about it early in the show. Joey Aguilar. I mean, the truth is with Joey. Now, Josh yesterday said, football, quarterback competition begins in this camp. And I don't know. I guess that's the case. But as I said in the open, it sure feels to me like this is Joey's job to lose so far. Just the way he's getting a lot of play. He's being thrust out there with the media. I feel like he's handling it really well, by the way. But we'll see. Time will tell. But I don't know, Sam. What's your take on this?
I think he's approaching this job and this competition in a great way. And you see him talking to news outlets or, football media as we got yesterday from him. Just seems like a guy that's very thankful to be here and is ready to kind of take on the process, whatever it may be. I think it's a guy that's very confident in his abilities and knows that he thinks he should be the starting quarterback for this team, but knows that it's not just going to get handed to him because of kind of unforeseen circumstances with the Nico departure, and speaks highly of the other quarterbacks in the room and how he feels like that's going to be just a really solid group that is going to kind of get the best out of one another. And he talks about taking his teammates out for dinner and trying to build those relationships, and knowing that that's not going to just come overnight. It's going to take not only just kind of building that off the field chemistry, but also proving it on the field to his teammates and stuff like that. I think he's saying all the right things, and you don't get the feeling that he's kind of coming in and being like, hey, Nico left and they had to come take me from UCLA because it was the only option. So I'm going to come out here and act like I'm the man because they don't have any other option. Like he's going at it in a very, hardworking approach and saying, hey, this is going to be earned, not given to me, but I'm going to kind of enjoy the process along the way. And, has already talked about how welcoming Tennessee fans are and stuff like that. I just think you're hearing all the right things from him.
I mean, even if he's just good, not elite, but good, he could end up being kind of a folk hero around here. That's what it feels like to me. And again, it could go really wrong too. We'll just have to see. Time will tell. But I think what was also interesting where you sent it along too, Sam, about Joey Housley's comments about his aptitude to digest the playbook. And I wondered, because we know that one of the things Deshaun Foster said last week at UCLA was part of the reason it got sideways with Joey was, wasn't sure he was picking up the playbook that well. I don't know if this was Housley kind of just saying, no, this is our guy and you're full of it, or I don't know. I was interesting to get your take on what what you thought that was.
I hope it's a subtle jab at Deshaun Foster and UCLA, to be quite honest with you, because, I mean, he said that he basically did the entire spring install in 4 days, and I think that's hard for anybody, and it's a guy that's kind of coming in and is drinking out of a fire hose to start off, and he feels pretty comfortable with the process. And I think Joey and Joey, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
I think they both know, like, it's not going to be just a perfect process, and there's going to be some ups and downs, and they'll work through it in fall camp. And, we'll see if, Jake Merklinger can also be a guy that goes out there and gives them kind of a kick in the rear a little bit and say, hey, don't forget about me. I can go compete for this job as well. I think you're in a good spot competition-wise, and knowing that you've got two quarterbacks that really want to be here and be the starting quarterback for Tennessee, when clearly after the whole Nico saga and money being a huge factor of it, you kind of got the vibe like, does this guy really want to be here? I think that you've got two quarterbacks in this battle. No offense to George McIntyre. I just think put on some weight, buddy, and then we'll talk about you in the quarterback competition. But I just think you've got two guys here that really, really want to be the starting quarterback for Tennessee, and I think that's important.
I wonder if McIntyre gets red-shirted.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Because you're right. He's got to put more meat on the bone, I think, too. But
wouldn't you want Jake to be the better quarterback in this situation? Because we talk about Reynolds. That's all Aguilar is. Like, what if Merklinger comes out and kind of lights the world on fire? Then your future, even with Faison Brandon coming in, like, you're not just going 1 year by 1 year. Like, Merklinger's like a guy that could be here for 2-3 years and be really good and only get better.
I'm fine with that. I mean, I'm not team Joey. I mean, I hope it works out.
It just seems like all the conversation's been Joey, and like Jake's just the forgotten man, but we're only talking Joey because he played, you know, like that's the thing going against Merklinger right now. And Joey's tied to this Nico thing. So, I mean, I don't think anybody here is counting Jake out in this situation by any means, but it seems like media and everybody else is kind of on Joey's side just for the simple fact he's played.
I mean, the narrative, like I said earlier, the narrative is so sexy, though, if Joey comes in and performs well, because he was the guy that UCLA didn't want, and they wanted Nico, and he came here, and oh my God, that's what I'm saying. He can end up being a legend here if he has a pretty good year. That doesn't mean he should get the job because of that.
Absolutely.
But that's what's kind of building right now, is like, I saw him, like I said, on some of his interviews on local news and stuff. And I was like, man, he's good. You know, he saying all the right things, doing all the right things. Like Sam said, I mean, being a leader, you know, trying to be a leader for a guy who's a short termer that just got here. I think all those things are good. But yeah, I mean, listen, if Merklinger earns the job and he's the guy, I got zero problems.
I just don't know how you learn anything in practice.
Yeah.
Like, I think you've got to throw them both out, have a split reps in the game in Syracuse or ETSU and things like that.
I don't know. There's going to be people running with what they just said today, that Merklinger completed all of his passes and Joey was 6 of 11 on his passes. And, you know, I guarantee you people will be like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Man? You know, I guarantee it.
Stories tomorrow.
Yeah. Last thing real quick. Heupel specifically named Lance Hurd in terms of highlighting his improved physical condition, saying that was a downfall last season. Boy, was he not kidding. I mean, that was a disappointing season for Lance. We can only hope that the floor is low right now. We got to get more from him for sure. All right, that wraps up hour 1 of the show. When we return, we're going to kick off hour 2, continuing this conversation, but with a big time guest. Chris Lowe from ESPN will be joining us. We'll get his take on things. He was in the mix yesterday on all the stuff that was happening with Hype and the team. So we'll talk with Chris. Looking forward to that and getting his thoughts on other things with college football too. So stick around. We'll be right back. It's Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Now, it's time for your Atlanta Braves morning update, presented by Tidal Wave Auto Spa. Get clean car happy at any of the 250-plus Tidal Wave Auto Spa locations today.
Royals top the Braves 9-6 in Game 2. I'm Barrett Salee, and this is your Braves Radio Network morning update.
Get clean car happy all season long at Tidal Wave with exclusive membership discounts, giveaways, and more. Visit TidalWaveAutoSpa.com/Braves for more information.
The Braves pound out 14 hits, but it wasn't enough as the Royals topped the Braves 9-6 in Game 2 of the 3-game set in Kansas City. Austin Riley goes deep. Marcell Ozuna with his second home run in as many days, but it wasn't enough. Eric Fetty gets the loss in his Braves debut. He's 3-11 on the season. He went 4 2/3, gave up 5 hits, 4 earned runs, walked 2, and struck out 3. The bullpen really let him down, though. Aaron Bummer and Anil De Los Santos combined for 5 earned runs. But with that said, the Braves can win the series. Game 3 of the 3-game set. The rubber match coming your way 2:10 Eastern time. Joey Wentz going for the Braves. He's 2-2, has a 5.76 ERA, 42 strikeouts, 23 walks, and a 157 whip. For leadoff show, 12:55 and first pitch with Ben and Joe, 2:10 from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Of course, you can hear all the action right here on the Braves Radio Network.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game, Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Your tax refund belongs to you, not an identity thief. Over $6 billion in tax refunds were flagged by the IRS for possible identity theft last year. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. They monitor and alert you to identity threats you'd miss on your own, even if you're careful with your personal information. And if you do become a victim of tax-related identity fraud, LifeLock has U.S.-based restoration specialists ready to help solve your identity theft issue. Plus, all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, meaning LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. Let LifeLock help protect your financial info, so all you have to worry about is what you do with your tax refund. Go to LifeLock.com, save up to 25% off your first year. The promo code is HERD, promo code HERD, to save up to 25% off your first year. LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
Hour 2 of Under Review starts now.
Welcome back to the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios of Fox Sports Knoxville Fan Run Radio. It's Under Review. Bob Baskerville here with Sam Beard, continuing our conversation on Tennessee football. We're growing ever so closer to football time in Tennessee. With each passing day, the anticipation grows, and now that the boys are out on the field, even if it's just cursory drills, it's got our attention. And we spent hour 1 talking a little bit about some of the comments from Coach Heupel yesterday, but I wanted to get the perspective of someone who is pretty close in their coverage to the program and is one of the best. This guy serves as a senior writer for ESPN.com. He's been with the worldwide leader for nearly 20 years. You see him regularly on the Paul Feinbaum show, as well as all of ESPN's college football coverage on the flagship, as well as the SEC network. He also recently, we talked about this back in the spring, played a significant role by way of his association with Chris Lofton. And he was highlighted in the SEC Story documentary on Chris that we all watched and loved, called Volunteer for Life. He's just regularly known around these parts as a go-to journalist when it comes to breaking Tennessee and college football coverage down. And even though he's friends with Jason Swain, I won't hold that against him. We are thrilled to have him join us today. Fan Run Nation, say hello to Chris Lowe. Chris, thanks for hopping on, man. How you been?
I've been great, Bob. Well, see, the last time I saw you, we were watching guys stuff bologna down their throats at the World Bologna Eating Contest over there by Dead End Barbecue and our good friend George Ewart. But no, it's great. And it's you sort of wake up today, yesterday, tomorrow with a little different feel because teams are much like Tennessee are outside on the turf practice, and it's here.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that was a who's who of people in attendance for that bologna eating thing, Chris. Let's make no mistake about it. It's I really appreciate you hopping on with us, but wanted to pose a few questions. We spent some time earlier talking about the situation with Boo Carter. Obviously, it's dominated the sports news cycle around these parts for about a week and a half now. And while there is some sort of a conclusion to it, it feels still a little nebulous, but I just want to get your overall takeaway on this. You were the one that broke it yesterday before Josh came out and, made it official, but you had the scoop on it. What are your thoughts on this? And what do you think it means for Boo? Because there's still part of us, myself and Sam have talked about this, where we feel like maybe this is just kind of a 5-6 month rental coming up, and it is what it is. But I just feel like there's probably a lot we won't know for sure, even as the season progresses.
Nebulous is a good word, Bob, in describing the situation, because it's far from being determined what he'll do this year for Tennessee, what role he'll play, how much he'll play. Much of that's is contingent upon him. I mean, he was not with the team this morning practicing early. What was open to the meeting, he was off to the side. I think that's all part of, as Josh said yesterday, earning his way back to the field. And make no mistake, yeah, Josh is the head coach, but the people he's going to have to win over are his teammates, in particular the leadership council. And I think he's very, very fortunate to be getting another mulligan. But I know there are a lot of guys on that council who are done with it, that are ready to move on. And this is not beating up on Boo so much as it is some of the things the team went through last year with Nico, with James Pierce, with Boo. Boo wasn't 100% as far as being on time to meetings, making meetings, and doing some of the things he was supposed to do. And I think the leaders came together and said, listen, we're not going to deal with that this year. We're going to police this football team. We're going to hold kids accountable. And when Boo was not going to some of their workouts, again, these are summer workouts. These aren't practices. I've heard some people say, you miss practice. Well, there are no practices in the summer. They're involuntary workouts. But Bob, as you know, they're involuntary in name only. You better be there. And he missed too many of them. Was late, missed some other functions, and they called him on it. And I don't think that his response was what some of those guys on the team wanted to hear. And I think that it was let's just say things got a little physical. And Boo was gone. He was gone for most of 2 weeks. Didn't come back. I don't think anybody really talked to him. And they were able to work it out here to this point to where he at least has a chance to get back. But he's going to have to, he's got to toe the line and prove that he wants to be. And here's the most important part. I don't want to get too long-winded. He wants to be a part of this football team and is willing to bleed, sweat, and invest the way everybody else on the team is. If he does that, he's a good enough talent where he can help this team. And we know this from having watched football. If he does the things he's supposed to do and gets back in full grace with everybody on this team, and he returns a punt for a touchdown to help beat Alabama or Florida this year, the offseason, all this offseason nonsense will be forgotten about.
Not to say that Nico didn't enjoy playing here, but we clearly kind of saw the money become a factor for him in that process. Based on what we've seen from Joey Aguilar and Jake Merklinger, they seem like they're hungry to make a name for not only themselves, but kind of to prove this program right as well. Is that something that you foresee Tennessee as a team kind of turning into fuel to elevate play all around the roster this year?
I think Joey Aguilar certainly sees it that way, because he knows every Saturday people are going to be watching Nico out west, going to be watching him at Tennessee, and he's got to win the job. I mean, Jake Merklinger is not just going to lie down and let this kid come take it. I think this is going to be a real legitimate quarterback battle. But this team, not just the quarterbacks, this team understands the narrative surrounding it. That, yeah, they got to the playoff last year. Yeah, they beat Alabama. Yeah, they beat Florida. But they didn't really make much noise. They didn't make any noise in the playoff. Now, with Nico's abrupt departure, some other really good players on defense, can they sort of take it to the next level, or do they dip? And I think a lot of people outside those walls there in that football complex. Not that it really matters what me or you or anybody else thinks they will take a hit. But I think this team has got good leadership. They got some guys who are really strong-willed guys like we saw with the Blue Carter situation. And I think they're going to be like that the rest of the year. The money thing, the NIL thing, is something that everyone's still adjusting to, coaches, kids inside locker rooms, administrations. And with regard to Boo, let's not forget, and everybody on the team knows this, that, he contemplated getting in the portal in December. He was out there publicly. He was looking around. He did not. Well, he got more money to stay at Tennessee. He also got the promises that he got a chance to play some on offense, which we saw him some at receiver in the spring. So he got the things he wanted, and then he goes into the offseason and doesn't deliver on some of those simple things. And I think that's what got him in hot water with this team. And that's why I say the leaders have put their foot down and say, nope, not going to be like that. I don't care who you are. Even if you're one of our top 3 or 4 most talented players, which Boo clearly is, we're going to put our foot down.
We're talking with Chris Lowe from ESPN. Staying on the quarterback topic for just a second, because we talked about this a little bit earlier, because, again, and you said it too, feels like it is going to be a quarterback competition. That said, it sure feels to me, at least, like if there is an incumbent right now, it feels like it's Joey Aguilar, but he's, to your point, he's got to go earn it. Would you agree with that, though, the way they're thrusting Joey out with the media and everything else?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you don't go spend Bob. Tennessee spent over $1 million and a half to get him in the portal, unless you think he's a guy, A, that can be your starter, and B, will come in and work hard enough and do what he's done. And he's really ingratiated himself to his teammates. And I hate to keep going back to Bo, but he's sort of been the antithesis of Bo ever since he got on campus. He's gone to everything. He's tried to get to know everybody on the team. He's been the first one in the complex. But yes, I think if he plays, if it's close, if he plays with the kind of experience that he has, because remember, he's played. Merklinger has it, McIntyre has it, and I think that makes a big difference. But no, they spent money on him. Merklinger also got a little bit more money to stay in the portal. I mean, not in the portal. He got money so he would not go into the portal to stay. And so it'll be interesting how all this goes down. Remember, a lot of people forget, and sometimes I'm guilty of this. When Josh came here, they went through spring practice, and I don't think they really knew what they had in Hidden Hooker. And they went out and they brought in Joe Milton after spring, if you remember. And Joe was the guy, when they started that season, was the first guy. Did not play as efficiently as they wanted him to. And then, of course, the rest is history. Hidden Hooker takes over, and he's brilliant for Tennessee the rest of the way. So sometimes it takes game action. Sometimes you sort of got to get into those situations where defensive ends are coming at you, they're in your face. You extend the play because you don't really know that sometimes in spring ball and preseason ball because no one's hitting the quarterback.
We've talked a lot during this offseason about how we think we're going to be able to figure out more about Josh Heupel as a coach this season than ever before. How much confidence do you have in the young but unproven talent to go out there and kind of prove it to this staff and prove it to this fan base to be right?
Well, they recruited very well, and they've been able to bring in guys. I think they've created more depth, and they're continuing to try to do that. Certainly when you look at this class that they're working on now, and that's the key in the SEC, is you've got to create depth. You got to create competition on the practice field. Tennessee's much closer to being where they need to be. When you look at the Ohio States and the Georgias and Alabamas, that's where they have separated. Now, it's harder to do in the portal era, but they've created so much competition on the practice field. Talking to the players that play for Josh the last couple of years, they love the way he lets them be who they are. He lets them play and go about their business. He's not one of these guys who's constantly in their grill about everything they do. He's a consummate players coach. Now, sometimes you can be too much of one, and I think that's why everybody will be watching this Blue Carter situation. But he really seems to get out of those guys. They genuinely enjoy playing for him. They really do. I think he has created a climate there around the program in the locker room where they look forward to it. I think as coaches, guys like Rodney Garner, who've done it for a long, long time, he lets those guys coach. And I like what he's done as far as building the team. And I think there's a big difference in, building a team and just attracting a bunch of talent. I wonder, too, how hard it will be to take that next step, because he's done it every year. You think about what he's done, I don't think he's given enough credit, because he's beaten Bama in Florida twice in the last 3 years. If you want a fun exercise, go look up Tennessee's record against Bama in Florida before he got there, in the 2 decades before he got there.
Right.
He's gotten to the playoff. He's been able to, other than last year, they were a pretty balanced football team. They were not last year. They rode that defense. So it'll be interesting to see what they do, what their sort of makeup is. Can they get more explosive on offense this year and continue to play at a championship level on defense? Because Tim Banks guys did that last year on the defensive side of the ball.
That's a good segue into my next question, because look, I think we feel that defensively we're in good shape overall, even with, we talked a little bit earlier about Jermod McCoy's status, timetables uncertain, as coach said. We still feel pretty good about that defense. Offensively, a lot of projecting outside of the walls of, media entities here locally about the Vol offense, that it will be challenged more than ever this season. And I get that. It's based solely on numbers, departing players, et cetera. That said, we still trust in Josh Heupel, just like you were saying. He probably doesn't get the credit he deserves. I'm curious on how you see this Tennessee offense shaping up this season. The fans, of course, are like, God, we got to open up the offense again. Sometimes you have to play to what your strengths and weaknesses are, obviously. And again, we talked about the quarterback situation. I think that's a work in progress. But at first blush, I'd say when they go out there against Syracuse, if you're a betting man, what would you say it's going to be more like last year, where it was kind of run heavy? And again, you focus on your strength versus some of the things that Josh ideally might like to do, but may not feel like he's got the tools yet.
Yeah. Well, Bob, I think the misconception about Josh and his offense, and probably I raised my hand, I was guilty of this early on, is they're not a power running football team. He's run the football everywhere he's been. When they've been really, really good offensively, they've run the ball. And he's done it with different backs. He's done it with different offensive lines. Now, Dylan Sampson was a special player last year. I don't know that they've got anybody that's to his level yet. But I still think it gets back to being able to run the football and not putting everything on the quarterback. Not making him be a guy every game that has to go out and win games. Now, where they were deficient last year is they just weren't. It didn't click in their downfield passing game. The protection wasn't consistent enough. Nico wasn't accurate enough. He got into that trap of looking at one guy, and the receivers just didn't get open. There wasn't a whole lot of separation. So all three of those things have to be better this year if they're going to be better in the downfield passing game, because it's going to be easier and easier to stop their run game if they will do that. And yet, even with that last year, they were still pretty effective in the run game. Josh knew, I think, early on that it was going to be a bit of a struggle with some of the things he had seen. And listen, this is not his first rodeo in being as explosive as they were in his first couple of years of the pass game. So he leaned hard on the defense, Bob. And to me, that's growth in a head coach, is you know what your strengths are and you play to your strengths. And I think he understood that if they didn't put their defense in bad situations, then they were going to have a pretty good chance to get to the playoff. And that's what happens. And I think the next step in your last question is getting to the playoff and making noise in the playoff. That's where I think what you're asking, you're going to have to be more potent and more explosive on offense if you're going to beat Georgia, if you're going to win a playoff game or two. That's where that next step is. But I thought really for the most part, he played really good complementary football last year, leaned on his defense because he knew that was the strength of his team. I'm not sure they can lean quite as hard to the defense does.
I think there's a lot of fun turnover and just storylines quarterback-wise around the conference in the SEC. Can you give me maybe one quarterback that we're not talking about enough and one that we're talking about too much?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'd say one is the guy Tennessee will see this year, and that's Arkansas's Taylor Green. I will bet you, God willing, he stays healthy. I never want to see anybody get hurt. He does run the ball a good bit. But if he's healthy come November, he's a guy in this conference and in college football people will be talking a lot about because of his ability to make plays in the run. He's 6'6", he can see, he's got a strong arm. And I think when you add in this component, year 2 under Bobby Petrino, you go look at Bobby Petrino's record with returning starting quarterbacks and how much progress they make, it's pretty darn good. So Taylor Green would be my answer to that question. Who are we talking too much about? I love him as a talent, and if you ask me, everything equal, health, record, protection up front, I would say DJ Lagway has as much upside as anybody in the conference, but I don't know guys if he can stay healthy. I mean, we're already seeing he's in a boot. He's slowed this preseason. He had the shoulder back in the spring. Now he's got some type of calf injury. He was hurt last year. He got knocked out of that Georgia game when they played them. He has plenty of talent. He is a really, really load to handle because he's big and he can move. He's got a great arm. But I just wonder with the way they play football is played in the SEC, if he can stay healthy, for 13 games. That's a challenge. Go back last year. How many quarterbacks in the league missed key games or missed key stretches of games last year? It's harder and harder to keep your quarterback healthy. And so that would be my one question about DJ is, can they count on him to be the starter or be in the lineup for half the season or more?
Talking with Chris Lowe with ESPN. Got one more for you, Chris. And this one goes, again, a little bit outside the realm of the Vols and maybe even the SEC, and it's kind of college football at large. I think you even kind of weighed in on it earlier in the week on social media. I just want to get your thoughts on the college football playoff discourse, which actually feels like it's turned into continued discord based on what we've heard in conference media days the past few weeks, and then also your thoughts on 8 conference games versus 9. We're kind of, from our perspective, like, can we just get to it one way or the other? This is just exhausting hearing all the kind of the peacocking, the filibustering, the evangelizing, whatever you want to call it with these conference commissioners. It's been a lot.
Yeah. Exhausting is another. I need to start using you as my thesaurus, Bob, because exhausting is a perfect word for what it's been, man. It really has been, especially I think for fans. ADs and then administrators and commissioners, they go back and forth and posturing and peacocking. Those are good words too. But my sense of talking to people at church or in my neighborhood or out and about, the airport, is they're sick of it. They're tired of it. Let's figure out the format that's best for college football, and let's go play. And there's not going to be anything they decide on that's everyone's going to be 100% lockstep in favor of. That's not going to happen. I remember Roy Kramer telling me years and years and years ago, I know I'm showing my age here, people were like, who was Roy Kramer? Roy Kramer was the former commissioner of the SEC, the godfather of the BCS. And some people probably say, what's the BCS? Yeah. So, and people curse the BCS. That was terrible. It's an awful system. And Roy said, listen, Chris, he said, there is no perfect system in college football because you're not comparing and never will compare apples to apples. Schedules are different. Conferences are different. Conferences change from year to year. There's even an imbalance in schedules within a conference. Look at the SEC last year. Go talk to Texas and Oklahoma last year, their first year in the conference. Look at their schedules. Who played the tougher conference, Texas or Oklahoma? It wasn't even close. Oklahoma's schedule was much tougher. So it's just hard to come up with a system. I know, so, let's have more metrics and not just the playoff committee. I don't know what the answer is. I do think we're going to get to 16 teams in the playoff. I do think the SEC will finally begrudgingly go to 9 conference games. Greg Sankey, the current commissioner, absolutely wants to play 9. The coaches don't, because they want assurances that they're going to be, that the strength of schedule in the SEC is going to be weighted more heavily when the committee sits down and decides what teams are in the playoff. And I get that, but I don't know that you're ever going to get those assurances. So I think we'll get tonight. I don't know if they'll do it in time for the 26th schedule, but I think we're definitely going to get there. So, Bob, I just hope that we can figure this out and we don't lose the magic of college football throughout the regular season. We don't get to a point ever where, like, you hear some scenarios where, well, maybe the Big Ten will play a playoff on Super Saturday. That's the Saturday, the conference championships. And maybe one will play 8, 2 will play 7, and 3 will play 6. Well, if you do that, then what does it matter what happens on late October, early November? See, I think that's the worst possible scenario. To me, every game, I want teams, if you're going to have a 16-team playoff, I want teams like a Tennessee, like a South Carolina last year, like an Ole Miss, to go into early November saying, hey, if we can keep winning, keep playing our best football, we have a chance. It keeps all the fan bases engaged. And yet, I don't know that we need a playoff to go into the playoff, like you heard. So I know that's a long answer to your question, but I sure hope that they can figure it out. I have a hard time, though, with I don't want to sound like an SEC homer here, but they do cover the country, the nation now for ESPN. But you tell me, who was a better football team come December last year, Indiana or South Carolina?
Yeah. No, great point. It's a great point. Hey, listen, this was fun. We really appreciate you spending time with us. Can't thank you enough. So what because you're about to head into football season like all of us. I mean, what's your remit? I mean, you get, you're kind of the breaking news guy when it comes to Vols stuff, but I mean, is there anything for us to be on the lookout for specifically when it comes to your stuff?
Yeah, I'm on the road a lot now. In fact, I'm headed back. I was in Athens yesterday spent some time with Kirby Smart, some of their players, Glenn Schumann, their defensive coordinator. We got Clemson recently, and I got something coming out on Dabo Sweeney, which this should be his best football team since that stretch from 2015 to 2019. I'll be at Alabama. Hope to get to Tennessee here pretty soon. Going to Florida. So I got a lot of travel. Then, to me, the August and April are the best times to get out and see people and see teams and watch them practice and talk to people to get a better feel on how teams are going to be. And so that's sort of what I got going on now. I'll be up in Connecticut next week with some stuff, doing some TV stuff with ESPN. But it's that time of year, and I look forward to it. Hey, I wanted to mention one thing. You guys mentioned Jamon McCoy.
Yeah.
I think when you look at defense for Tennessee, just in my conversations with people over there, that's really going to be one to watch, because I don't think, based on my conversations, and I hope I'm wrong here, that he's going to be 100% ready to go to start the season. I think that's probably a stretch. And maybe he can play some, but certainly you're not going to get the version of Jamon McCoy to start the season that he was before he got hurt, because he was one of the better corners in college football. So bringing in some guys was crucial for Tennessee. I think the Hood kid has really been impressive. But that's one where we start talking about their defense. I think you got to weigh that in, because he's one of those corners, when he's healthy, you can put out there, and he really can sort of shut down one side of the field. So his recovery and where he is and when they can really count on him to be, an every down type player, and he's healthy, because that position, when you're coming off a knee, and remember, he got hurt. It wasn't like he got hurt last season. He hurt it in December or January. So he hasn't had a whole lot of time to recover. But I know that knowing that kid, he's going a million miles an hour to try to get back healthy. But his recovery and where he is September 1st or August 30th, I think will be play a key role in where Tennessee is defensively this year.
Just in your opinion, Chris, where do you, not talking to people around the program and everything, but where do you kind of guess that you feel like would be a good landing spot for him to return in that schedule? Because we kind of talked about, do you kind of rush him back maybe for a game against Georgia, or do you kind of just maybe with the first 5 games of the season not being all that difficult, do you kind of just ease him back in and hope that you've got a more 100% version of him for kind of the back end stretch run?
they won't rush him back in. I can promise you that. He's got too bright a future, and he's going to have to be, again, at that position, he's going to have to be 100% before he's back in. I think the 1st of October, the end of September, is a realistic time for him to be Jermod McCoy again. I'm not saying he won't get on the field at all before that. I'm not saying that. But to be where he really is able to be one of the top corners in the country, which he is when he's fully healthy. I think realistically, sometime the latter part of September going into October. And that's when you got to have him, because even if you lose a game in September, you still got a chance if you play your best football the rest of the way, which we saw last year. Tennessee was able to recover from that Arkansas game. I think that was more early October. But I think that's what they want to do. And they've done Tim and his staff have done a nice job of developing some young guys. The kid who played last year as a freshman is a really good player. And getting the kid from Colorado to transfer, I think, was key, especially now with Jamod's, recovery and where he is health-wise right now.
You can follow this guy at CeeLo ESPN. Goes without saying, it's a great follow. This guy's as good as it gets, and we sure appreciate him spending time with us today. Chris, many, many thanks. Hope you have a great football season, and look forward to talking to you again here down the road at some point.
You bet.
Thanks,
good catching up, guys. You have a great day.
Thank you, man. Let's hit a break. When we return, we're kind of at halftime of the show. Got some interaction on the text box and whatnot, so we'll get to some of that, just talking about the football situation at large. We'll do that right after this. Stick around. It's Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
Big Orange Country's home for sports. This is Fan Run Radio.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Are you looking for a treat that will knock it out of the park at the next watch party? Just like your favorite baseball team, Crumble brings the best lineup week to week with an expanded roster that includes key lime pie, strawberry cake, or my personal favorite, Monster featuring M&M candies. Let Crumble treat you to the best cookies in the game. Download the Crumble app and start earning rewards. You can even vote monthly on what flavors you would like to see at any store of your choice. Warmer weather is here, so get to the ballpark, but don't miss the cookies.
Running a business, coaching a team, planning your next big event, you need more than just gear. You need SM Athletics and Logo Solutions. Custom uniforms, branded apparel, promotional products, done right, done fast, and built to show off your brand with pride. From local businesses to high schools to major universities, SM Athletics is trusted by winners. Get real service, get real quality, get noticed. SM Athletics and Logo Solutions, where your brand comes to life.
Visit smathletics.com and let's build something great together.
Yo, 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 what is up with it, homies? Talk sports. That's the show you want. It's the longest running sports radio morning show in town. You want your radio shows to be fun, and that's what Talk Sports is. Fun, fun, fun. No weirdo callers. I think Tennessee gonna go 6-6 this year. No nerdy guests. Well, their receiver depth is a little bit thin. Just two of the most entertaining guys in town, and Bubba giving you what you need. Tune in 7 to 10 a.m. every weekday here on Fan Run Radio.
Airlines have just reduced their prices even more. Book 30 days in advance and save big.
Want the absolute lowest prices on your airline tickets? Then call the Low Cost Airlines Travel Hotline right now. For prices so low, we can't publish them anywhere. The only way to access our low rates and save up to 70% is to call. Save hundreds on your vacation tickets by calling right now. You can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-631-1754. 800-631-1754. 800-631-1754. That's 800-631-1754.
Welcome back. Sam and I were just talking in the break. It's like, how good a job is that for Chris Lowe that, yeah, just spent some time with Kirby Smart, going to go see Dabo. I mean, I guess kind of a variation, our guy Trey Wallace does some of that too. But I don't know. Outside of the travel part, which these days travel's a pain in the ass, we know that. But other than that, sounds like a pretty good gig to me.
I'd take it.
Yeah.
I'd take it. Yeah, I mean, what? I got Monday Kirby, Tuesday Dabo, Wednesday Florida. Not a bad way to get acclimated into football season.
Definitely. Had a little interaction earlier in the show on the text box and wanted to give that a little bit of time. First one was regarding Happy Gilmore. No name here, but it's from the 865. They said, I gave it a 3, just another bad remake.
Mm-hmm.
And then another person wrote, most disappointing sequel, is it Happy Gilmore 2 or Anchorman 2? Forgot about Anchorman 2.
Yeah, man.
Those are tough because the original.
I haven't thought about Anchorman 2 in a long time, honestly.
Jake, you have a thought?
Talk
here?
about cameos in Anchorman 2.
Yeah, there's a lot. I don't think there's 74 or whatever there was in Happy Gilmore.
Was there a final tally number of cameos in Happy Gilmore 2?
74 is what I've heard.
Really?
Entertainment Tonight said like 70, but then Spencer outside in the lobby, well, he works here.
He counted them up himself.
Yeah, apparently. He said 74, and I don't know. That would be something he would do, sit there and count them all. So somewhere in the 70s, which is crazy. That's crazy.
I will say Will Zalatoris was awesome.
He was good.
That was the best cameo.
No, I thought he was good.
You like Scotty?
He was all right.
Scotty's just
He doesn't have a lot of personality.
Yeah, he doesn't have he's not an actor.
No, it's tough because there's so much we like about him, it being just a guy, but he didn't really elevate his game at all for that.
Him in like the jail cell though was funny and stuff like that. But
when they said they had chicken tenders, because everybody knows his whole deal with the Masters.
Well, they tried to make like
dinner.
the Champions Dinner like the Augusta, right? These guys with the gold jackets and things like that. Eating.
Yeah.
And they made it feel like he was on the pro tour, going back there. So there's going to be, you could have brought back Lafferty Daniel or whatever his name was in the first one, maybe, you know, but
he, so speaking of Scotty, kind of his similar archetype, and he was kind of the same in the movie, is Jordan Spieth is not necessarily a dynamic guy either. He can't really rise to the occasion. Felt like Shoffley was trying, right?
Yeah,
he was
Justin Thomas.
Yeah, those guys, they were definitely trying.
But you hear they all wanted to be a part of it. Like they were itching at being a part of this movie. So
do we know, did Tiger because you got to believe he was offered an opportunity and he just turned it down. Is that what we think happened?
I do wonder if like when they were making this movie, if that was kind of in the midst of some of
Surgeries.
That's
like
fair.
the car crash stuff and
They had his
everything like
bust
that.
or whatever, his face, up
Yeah.
there on the,
That was one funny thing when they had the bust of Happy Gilmore, and he goes,
"What, the buck teeth?"
Yeah, he goes, "Why do I look like SpongeBob?"
Yeah.
Thought that was pretty funny. Okay, jumping over to football, there's a couple comments here. Somebody wrote, and this is about Boo Carter, is when is enough? Quit blaming people, money, or whatever whatever way you want to spin it. He's responsible for his actions, and yes, if this was the third string kicker, he wouldn't be back. Fair point. And then somebody on our Fan Run TV channel posted and said, we would be fine with or without Boo. Boo needs Tennessee a hell of a lot more than they need him. And I think that's probably true. We talked about that last week. Sam.
That's where I disagree, to be quite honest with
Really?
you. I think this football team really needs Boo Carter.
Well, okay, but what I was going to say is we talked about this last week. How much of a difference in like our win-loss record does it make if Boo Carter's not there? Is he worth an extra win, do you think? Or
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, I just look at that star position, and I just think you're asking somebody. I think it's an incredibly important position on this defense, and you're either, if you don't have him in the building anymore, I think you're asking somebody who hasn't exactly played that position to learn it in a matter of, a month, basically. And the only other guy that really maybe has some experience in that is Jordan Thomas, and he's a guy that's coming off of multiple injuries. So, like, I don't know. I just think with how elite of an athlete he is, how important of a position that is on our defense, I'll 100% get it that, he needs to take some accountability for his actions and probably needs to be punished for some of the stuff that he's done. But I also just, it kind of sounds like I do think whoever said that is right. Like if it was the third string kicker, they'd absolutely be kicked off the team. But I think it's kind of an unfortunate reality of some big team sports like football, where it's a guy that's as good as Boo Carter. I just think at some point you do have to kind of take some of the really hard off the field stuff that is making you want to pull your hair out. At some point, I do think it's kind of worth it for what he brings to you on the field.
there's definitely the rub of, to your point and to the listener's point, when you're an elite, likely NFL level athlete, you're going to get a different rub than a, reserve kicker.
So, I'm just trying to so Nico wasn't as important as Boo Carter is what it's making it out to be, because that argument, you can't make the same argument. Why are you not making the same argument to keep Nico around? Like, do you feel like Nico's situation? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I feel like Nico being a quarterback is more important than a safety.
I think some of it was economics for sure, because Nico was going to get 2.4 and they wanted more.
Right.
That's one thing. And I don't think, let's just call it what it was. And, Boo at least flashed potential, right? And Nico, we saw something early, but it was against inferior competition. And
it was first year starting. Could you have paid for a huge second year jump? But you're different.
Yeah,
he did lead you to a playoff, as much as we don't want to admit it.
He didn't lead us.
I was going to say, did he get better as the season went on?
I mean, he made throws against Bama to beat Bama. I mean,
one throw.
Okay.
As the season went on,
go back to the Bama game and look at all the throws that he missed before that one throw.
I don't think
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying what makes the situation, like if Boo had the opportunity to get in the portal and be able to leave, would we have just let him walk? Do we feel like we had an obligation? Hey, there's nowhere else for this kid to go. He's in mental state.
Yeah, you're saying if the portal was open and this stuff happened, you would have showed him the door.
Okay.
But I think it's the culmination of, like, he has nowhere to go. Your team honestly doesn't have really many places to go. And I don't think if Boo Carter was having off the field issues and was saying, hey, I need $1 million more to come play at Tennessee, Josh Heupel would have told him to kick rocks.
We already re-upped him. You know, when he turned the relief earlier, like Chris Lowe mentioned, like he was wanting to get in the portal. Ricky Gibson was wanting to get in the portal.
Yeah.
Mike Matthews, like we had guys that were wanting to leave and we re-upped with them.
And by the way, I've said it before. Welcome to the new normal. We're gonna go through all this stuff again next off season, and it won't just be with Boo. It'll be other players.
Everybody's, like we said, everybody's a rental. It seems like you don't know who's staying and going.
That's it. Let's jump over to the phone lines. Matthew is waiting on the line. I bet you're so happy with our quarterback situation in Indy, Matthew. How are you?
Anthony Richardson's lighting it up right now.
That's what I'm hearing.
We'll see.
You know what's funny, Sam, and what's funny, Bob, is you talked about Anthony Richardson. Have y'all seen that? I don't know. I probably should be talking about this, but that Barstool guy that does the Bing Bong stuff.
Yeah.
Bing Bong, Sammy, your quarterback ain't playing very good in practice. Throwing interceptions over the middle. Bing Bong.
Anthony Richardson, the best practice quarterback in the country. Him and Joe Milton trying to fight for that spot.
You know what's sad is who was bad in practice in college, but absolutely just a game manager and just turned it on was Joshua Dobbs. Can we suit him up in Indy?
I love Josh Dobbs.
You can go trade for him. I don't think anyone's stopping you.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Bob and I on a Monday after a Colts win if Josh Dobbs won us the division?
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. But we got Danny Dimes, man. I don't care. It's all good. It's all good.
Listen, I did call in for just to kind of carry off y'all's conversation around Boo, and I'm not picking sides here, but I'm leading in with what Sam shared. I do think he is worth at least one win, and I get where you're at, Brett. It's like what makes the situation differently, and I think it's just a lot more. Had the portal been open, absolutely, we would have shown him the door. But I look at Boo Carter as I hate to say it, but like a 5-month car lease, where we are incredibly thin at the defensive back position, and if the offense, I'm not saying it will, but if the offense struggles, field position is going to be an absolute major importance, I think, for as good as this defense is supposed to be, because you look back 2 seasons ago with our orange throwing quarterback, Mr. Joe Milton, and you look at a guy like, him and his struggles early on, but like that A&M game where D. Williams was able to take one. I'm not saying Boo Carter takes a bunch to the house, but we know what he can do when he gets the ball in his hands. And so I will say I do think he is worth at least one game where you flip the field. And I'll hang up with that thought, boys. Have a good day. Go Vols.
Appreciate it, Matthew. You too.
All right. I get it. I just don't know. I mean, it's frustrating, and I'm kind of torn on this. I'm with Brett on it to some degree, but
which game do we flip though? Because we're thinking with Boo, we're going to go 9-3. Like, so is he saying we flip a game where we get to 10-2 possibly?
I don't know.
Because I did say I think we agreed that we might lose a game without him, like in Oklahoma, possibly. Something like that. Maybe your schedule drops. So I don't know which one you gain a game on, but I don't know.
I just think there's room for you can't. It becomes a problem culturally in your locker room if you have 7 or 8 of these guys. But if you've got a guy to his, with his talent, and it's just a one-off situation type of thing, I do think there's going to be enough accountability with what we've already seen with the leadership council on this team. It's going to say, hey man, like we're not letting this stuff continue to happen. And so I've got trust in those guys and the vision that they've created for themselves and this team to, I'm sure it's not an easy decision for those guys to kind of see Boo Carter back on the field and making the waves that he has made. But I also think at some point, if you go out there and you do kind of do right with those teammates and you stay accountable with what you're doing, I just think he's a guy that the headache is kind of worth it for what he brings to you on the field and in all aspects of it. And I just think there's not a lot of, if things go wrong, you dismiss him from the team or whatever mid-season. And like we've been saying all day today, like it just doesn't really seem like a guy that's going to stay around in the locker room for much longer. And so you can kind of just, that you can kind of cut this potential cancer kind of out of the locker room after 5-6 months. If it starts to become an issue with, the product that's getting put on the field mid-season, I will not be surprised at all to see Josh Heupel or this leadership council on the team kind of make a decision and say, hey man, it was a good try. We gave you a second chance. You didn't take advantage of it. And we're not going to sit around here and give you a third try type of thing. I'm willing to give the guy a second chance for what he can bring on the field, I think.
Well, the good news is with days flying off the calendar, we're going to know for sure here pretty soon. It's coming.
I think it's crazy that I'm more shocked that he's on the team now because of the whole coaching that didn't want him on the team too. Like Heupel not only went, he had a lot of negative in his ears. Somebody must have really had to change his mind on this.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. All right, let's take a quick time out. When we return, final segment, midweek power ranker. Brandon Marcello of CBS Sports, he dropped a strength of schedule ranker for the SEC ahead of the upcoming season. And we've seen and heard about a lot of these, and they're usually rooted in quantitative data, numbers, SP plus, what have you. Marcello looks at it differently, and he's looking at trends in the calendar, game placement, bye weeks, all that kind of stuff. Where do the Vols stack up in that situation? We'll talk about it all when we return. Stick around. It's Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
Streaming worldwide at fanrunradio.com and on the free Fan Run app. This is Big Orange Country's sports talk radio superstation, Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
And here we go. It's William Pattison, and this is your daily invite to Overtime on Fan Run Radio. Weeknights from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern, I'm breaking down everything you care about, from the latest Tennessee Volunteers news to bold takes on college football, the NFL, and NBA. If it's happening in the world of sports, I've got an angle on it. You bring the passion, and I'll deliver the truth, the fire, and the facts. It's Overtime with William Pattison, weeknights at 7, only on Fan Run Radio.
Dental health is so important. It's one of those things that if you don't stay on top of it, it can really come back to haunt you, both financially and, of course, in terms of your physical health. If it's been a while since you've been to the dentist or you've got a dental issue that needs attention, do what I do. Go to Malone and Costa Dentistry at Knoxville Smiles. You can schedule your appointment online right now at knoxvillesmiles.com or just give them a call at 865-539-1776 and tell them Fan Run Radio sent you.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Hungry for some mouth-watering barbecue? Then take the quick drive up I-75 to Rickard Ridge for some of the best barbecue you'll ever have. Fall off the bone, Memphis-style baby back ribs, slow-smoked chicken thighs, and fresh hand-cut steaks. Rickard Ridge has something for everyone. Located in Cove Lake State Park with a spectacular view of the Cumberland Mountains, Rickard Ridge. It's more than just dinner, it's a destination. Check out their full menu and catering options online at rickardridgebbq.com.
Welcome back. Final segment, hour 2. Just looking at strength of schedule with the SEC. Of course, now I can't find it. That always works. Here we go. Brandon Marcello with CBSSports.com. He put together a strength of schedule ranking for the SEC. And what was different about this one, which I appreciated, was we've been talking about it in the past. We just talked about it a couple of days ago, I think at the beginning of the week when we were talking about Bill Connolly's SP Plus rankings with ESPN and how he was sizing up the SEC and everything there. I think some of it's really informative. It's not entirely prescriptive, though, is the way I would put it, in that this is a situation where, it's funny. We talk about the College Football Playoff Selection Committee maybe relying more on data to help with their picks. That's necessary. I think sometimes when we're projecting, we focus everything on so much data that you kind of miss some of the other variables. And that's what Marcello was talking about. He talked about things like, as he put it here, It's one thing when you talk about strength of schedule to play Alabama in September and LSU in November. It's another to face Texas, Alabama, and Georgia in a 4 to 5 week span. So he talks about schedule placement, bye weeks, etc. So with that said, we'll start from the top, like who in his mind has the hardest schedule. And this will surprise you because number one, it's Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt hits the road to face 4 top 15 teams, including Texas and Alabama. The back half of the schedule is brutal with no breathing room or lower tier opponents, providing a break from the likes of Alabama, LSU, Texas, and Tennessee. It's kind of interesting when you look at it that way. I think that it's like this is not everybody in the SEC is going to have a relatively tough schedule to some degree because of the strength of the SEC. But when you start looking at when you play these teams and the cadence of that can get pretty dicey.
Yeah, I think this is something we brought up as we kind of did our 30,000 foot view of all the SEC teams. And there's a couple in there that have some pretty advantageous bye weeks and where some certain games are kind of slotted in and stuff like that. I 100% agree with him. I think Vanderbilt is a team that doesn't have a whole lot of breathing room. And, you play Power 4 opponent, Virginia Tech week 2. You don't really get a bye game. You go straight to South Carolina, Alabama on the road, LSU coming to town, Texas on the road. I think this is a Vanderbilt team that definitely has they've got their work cut out for them. And Diego Pavia says they're going to win the national title. So we'll see.
Hell yeah. The team that we always talk about that we all feel has maybe the toughest schedule, at least by our measure, is Florida. Marcelo doesn't have Florida till number 5. He's got ahead of them at number 2, Mississippi State. And you do look at their schedule. It's brutal, man. It's brutal. On the road at Florida, Texas A&M, and Missouri. They still also play Texas and Georgia. They have a home game against Arizona State, which we've said might be a sneaky one to keep an eye on. But, Arizona State's a college football playoff team. It's a tough schedule.
Yeah.
Arkansas 3, Oklahoma 4. We have talked about Oklahoma. I think Connolly has Oklahoma with the toughest strength of schedule in the SEC. They have a tough road ahead.
Yeah, they don't have it. Don't have it too easy over there. They've got some really difficult road games as well. I mean, you look at them and they've got South Carolina on the road, Tennessee on the road, Bama on the road,
Michigan,
yeah. LSU to finish up the season. It's definitely tough for Oklahoma.
Yeah. We mentioned Florida at 5, and then going 6 through 10 real quickly. Number 6, Texas A&M. Number 7, LSU. Number 8, Texas, which surprised me. I feel Texas's schedule is a little more favorable than that. But number 9, Kentucky. Number 10, Alabama. 11, Auburn. 12, Ole Miss. 13, South Carolina. Georgia, 14. Third easiest schedule. Not easiest, most favorable schedule. I find that interesting. Tennessee, second most favorable at 15. It's right there for us, Sam.
Absolutely.
Let's go win a natty.
No, I think that's part of it that makes you have a little bit more confidence for kind of what this season should be able to bring for you for Tennessee this year. You've got some uncertainty in a few spots on that roster, but schedule-wise, you're not exactly you don't have the biggest mountain to climb in the world.
As Marcelo said, and he's not wrong, said we'll know after that evening game against Georgia and Neyland if the Vols are a legit contender. He's right. We'll get a pretty early return on things.
Mm-hmm.
And then the easiest schedule, everybody seems to agree on this, or the most favorable one in the SEC, Missouri. Drink. God, he annoys me.
Yeah.
They're going to be hanging around. Mark my words.
Mm-hmm.
Hate
Absolutely.
it. Hate it. All right. That wraps up hour 2 of the show. Quick timeout when we return. Midday headlines. Sam's got you covered there. We'll also be joined by Jake Crain in hour 3. And we'll play a little not for nothing, but got some pretty crazy things that were said or done in the last week in sports. We'll talk about those too. It's all coming up in hour 3 of Under Review. Stick around. You're listening to Fan Run Radio.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Hey, this is your boy Thomas Miles, nephew Tommy. Fellas, let's get real for a second. Erectile dysfunction isn't just physical. It can mess with your head, your confidence, and even your relationship. But guess what? There is hope. Men's Pro Knoxville has helped men right here in our community get their confidence back. They got a team of licensed medical providers who find a way to get results. Powerful, lesser-known treatments for mild to moderate ED could have you performing like you haven't in years, or helping you stay performing. And listen, pills don't work for everybody. Maybe they stop working or the side effects weren't worth it. Men's Pro Knoxville builds a plan around you. Your consultation is just $99. That includes your blood work, medical consult, and if advised, a test dose. Results? They got an in-house lab, so you'll know where you stand in minutes, not days. So let me ask you, when was the last time you couldn't perform? And how did that make you feel? You deserve better. Call 865-544-8220 or go to menspronknoxville.com today. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game, Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Are you ready to show off that confident, radiant smile you've always dreamed of? Well, here at Knoxville Smiles, we're ready to turn your dream into a reality. At Knoxville Smiles, we're more than just a dental practice. We're your partners in achieving optimum oral health. From routine cleanings and checkups to advanced cosmetics and restorative procedures, we offer a wide range of services in an environment that makes every visit a positive and comfortable experience. At Knoxville Smiles, it's about more than just treatments. We're focused on creating a welcoming environment where you feel like family. Our state-of-the-art facilities are designed with your comfort in mind, and our friendly staff is always ready to address your questions and concerns. Don't wait any longer to achieve a beautiful smile you deserve. Schedule your appointment at Knoxville Smiles today and take that first step towards a healthier, happier you. Call us at 865-539-1776 to book your appointment today, or just visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
Hour 3 of Under Review starts now.
Welcome back to the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios of Fox Sports Knoxville, Fan Run Radio. It's Under Review. You got Bob and Sam and Brett and Jake all hanging out here. Midweek show. 2 more days till the weekend. That much closer to football being part of our future. Can't wait. Appreciate you spending time with us. Phone lines are open. You can hop on and let us know what's on your mind. Area code 865-966-3435. That's 966-3435. We're also reachable on X at Fox Sports Knox. Quick note, a week from tonight, mark it down, Fan Run Night at Covenant Health Park, Knoxville Smokies. Come join the crew. I was looking at the extended weather forecast. Temperature is going to be dropping a little. It's going to be like high 80s next week.
Okay. All right.
Now it's a week away, but 10% chance of rain, which means really nothing, no rain, but things can change. But you can go check out some baseball. If you have not been to Covenant Health Park, This is a great opportunity to go see it. It is fantastic. What a great venue. Get to see some professional baseball. I think this may be the last homestand, too, for the Smokies, because they do these extended homestands and they wrap their season up sooner. It's kind of like the end of the month of August. So you get to do that. You get to hang out with some of the fan run guys. We're going to have pretty much the whole gang there, probably participating in some things, some games, some frivolity. And it's also all you can eat Wednesdays at the park, too. And we'll probably be doing a giveaway with some tickets for that, not just for the game, but for the vouchers to get some grub, get your grub on. It's going to be a big night. We're looking forward to it. Hope you are too. Mark your calendar. We'll keep talking about it as the week goes on. But August 4th. No, August 6th.
Yeah, August 6th. Yeah.
You know why? I'm looking at this calendar that's hanging in here, and it's for 1993. Probably need to get that out of here.
It's a good looking calendar.
It's a great looking calendar. It's a University of Tennessee with a checkerboard on it.
I think it's on you, Bob, that you're using the calendar in here.
Well, I saw August.
I don't think we have a single calendar in this office that is a piece of decoration that is actually
it's
current day.
Sam, it's at eye level. I'm just seeing it, and I'm like August 4th.
Ours is
and
from 95, 96 in here.
Yeah. give me a little credit. I knew the minute I said it, it's like that's not right.
You're like, that's not it.
Yeah, it's August 6th, Wednesday, August 6th, a week from Wednesday, which is today. Come see us. Come hang. Like I said, more details to come. We'll be having some tickets to give away and vouchers and whatnot. And some free fan run swag will be available at the game too. So
what if we did like a just spitballing out here? I'm just creating our own promotion without approval from the boss man or anything. But like you said, it's all you can eat Wednesday. Could we figure out a way to like maybe get the whichever fan run affiliate comes out and also buys a all you can eat Wednesday ticket, like whoever eats the most at the game gets a little bit of some free fan run swag or something like that. Turn it into our own Joey Chestnut type of competition.
Oh, like a power eating thing?
Or more of a marathon eating, it doesn't have to be 100 dogs and, or 10 dogs in 10 minutes type of thing. You can stretch that thing out all throughout your 9 innings.
It is doable because I'm thinking about they're specific about what food they'll send you to a certain place where the food's available, and it's like pulled pork, which would be hard to power eat, but they do have hot dogs.
Just a thought. Just a thought. I think the Smokies would like that too. If some fan run people would buy a bunch of their all you can eat meal tickets for a chance to get some free stuff from us. Just thinking out loud here, Bob.
It's not a bad idea. Might have to workshop that a little bit.
All right.
I think there's some trivia element that's going to happen. I think, John and Cody will spearhead that. And who's going to throw the first pitch on behalf of Fan Run? We know what happened last year. It was
hope they let us. Hope John didn't mess us up.
Nah, they're going to let us. They're going to let us, but I think we got to be strategic.
I think we should just let John do it a second time, and either he just really redeems himself and he gets a chance to pat himself on the back, or he just crashes and burns once again, and it's just mortifying for him. Never be able to go back to a pitcher's mound ever again in his life.
I'm down with that. That's what I think should happen, honestly. I know we talked for a little bit about Cody doing it, but I think, give John
Cody's got nothing to lose. Like he's.
Yeah. And again, honestly, it's one of those, it's a tough decision. If I'm John, it's like
exactly
you go out and redeem yourself. Nobody really cares.
That's just the first pitch.
Yeah.
But it's more to him in his heart than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if he nails it, it's like, well, leave it open for fan run night with the Smokies in year 3. He's got to go and see if, we get two good tries under his belt or two misses.
That's true. There's a lot to see. That's what we're saying. A week from Wednesday. Come check it out.
Amen.
Could be a lot of drama. All right. Time for some midday headlines. There's a lot going on in the world of sports. There always is. Besides our Vols. For that, I turn things over to Sam Beard. Take it away, Sam.
Tennessee basketball stays active on the recruiting trail. I shouldn't say hot, as that would kind of mean that there was a commitment, but 4-star wing Gage Mayfield released his top 5, which included Tennessee yesterday afternoon. The Vols joined Florida State, Michigan, Oklahoma, and Vanderbilt in his top 5 there. Officially visited Tennessee in June for his first of 5 scheduled visits. Has scheduled visits with the other 4 schools in his top group over the next couple months. So Florida State will be getting that next visit. Michigan will be getting the last one. The number 68 player in the country, according to 24/7's rankings, 6'7", 190-pound wing, ranks as the top prospect in the state of Alabama. Number 28 small forward nationally in those 2026 rankings.
I think we've said this before. We got to get him for the name alone.
It's a good name.
It's a great name.
Mayfield from deep.
Gage.
Yeah.
Sounds like a NASCAR driver.
He does kind of sound like a NASCAR driver. Good guy to get in the building, though.
Absolutely.
You landed the top player in the state of Alabama for the 25 cycle, getting Dwayne Brown. So maybe you can kind of stay hot down there in Alabama and pluck a guy out of Nate Oates' backyard and say, shove it.
Absolutely.
Pearl too.
Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't forget about him.
Senator Pearl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going to be too busy trying to get funding for his campaign. Yeah. The hits just continue for the Braves as they have placed Ronald Acuna on the 10-day injured list with right Achilles tendon inflammation. Jared Klenick was recalled from the minors as a result of this injury. Was seen in a walking boot following the Braves 9-6 loss against the Royals yesterday. Expected to return to Atlanta and undergo an MRI. What really breaks my heart here, Brett, is that Acuna said that he pushed Brian Snitker to play him yesterday because he had some soreness, but he said that he felt like he has missed enough time already this year, so he wants to be able to get back out there. I respect that, Ronald. I love that for you. I love that you want to go out there and you want to be the star player for my team. We're sunk. Our season's done. Don't get hurt for next season now. We already know that nothing's going to happen this year, Ronald. I appreciate the fact that you want to go out there and give it your all for us for the rest of this season, but 27 years old, man, still got a lot of baseball ahead of you. Let's honestly just keep him on ice for a decent bit here. Like, there's nothing good coming out of this Braves season. Let's not make it worse with another off season of an injury for Ronald Acuna.
Especially when you start saying the word Achilles and like you see Halliburton and Tatum, they try and play through it, and now they're out for even longer. And
exactly.
Who knows where they go with their career, kind of thing. So it's not. Yeah,
and when you've already had the ACL stuff that he's had, it's
I'd
like,
shut him down personally.
Man, just keep him on ice, get healthy, Ronald. Braves suck this year. We're 45-61, 16.5 games back out of first place in the NL East. You're only 1.5 games up on the last place team, which is the Nationals in that division. So I'm with you, Brett. Stay on ice, get healthy for next year. Punt on the season. Braves suck. World sucks. It's football season. Nobody cares about baseball anymore. Right, Bob?
Not like in July.
No, I'm okay. My team's still okay.
Trade deadline tomorrow, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully we just clean house. That's what I'm thinking, Brett.
Did you see last night that like maybe for the first time in his career in the majors that Ohtani struck out in all 4 plate appearances?
Really? Wow.
He's getting nervous. The MLB investigation for gambling. He's like, oh no, they're gonna resurface my name. I'm gonna go to jail just like the translator that I threw under the bus.
I watched some of that game last night. It was them and the Reds. It was on local TV here. Reds are kind of fun to watch. Not gonna lie.
Ellie's fun.
Yeah. Lodolo pitched. He looked pretty good.
Sounds like Burns is gonna get the start at the racetrack. So that'd be fun.
That's just also what I'm really like. I wanted to see Ronald Acuna just hit a ball into like halfway up the stadium at Bristol. It's just not going to be able to happen.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's just not fun. It's just not fun. We talked about weird trades in baseball. I think we talked about the minor league one, but hey, it happened in the majors just yesterday, is the Toronto Blue Jays and the Orioles go for a trade with Sir Anthony Dominguez. The Blue Jays acquired him and cash from the Orioles for pitching prospect Warren Watts-Brown. But basically, what was the best part about this story, Bob, was that the Blue Jays and the Orioles were in the midst of a doubleheader. So he gets traded in between games of the doubleheader. All he's got to do is just walk across the concourse, go to the next dugout.
Weird.
You saw him. There's a video of him like in the other team, or like in his old uniform basically, and he's like dapping up his new teammates and stuff. And he's got the clubby from the Blue Jays like being like, all right, so here's your new digs, and here's everybody over here. But he's just walking through the concourse getting traded. I think we talked about this. We almost spoke it into existence. We're like, we're going to see this happen in the MLB here in the next couple days.
He pitched, right?
Yeah.
He came in the Blue Jays uniform. He pitched against his team that he was on earlier in the day, like a couple hours earlier. It's crazy.
I love it.
So the general managers usually travel to these games, right? Like they're probably just up there grabbing a cup of coffee. Hey, you want to make this work?
What do you say we get Sir Anthony in the dugout? So
what's weird is I guess the Orioles are in sell mode too, because their top closer Batista, he's out, and so the two guys that are the committee that would be replacing him as the closer, Dominguez was one and Gregory Soto's the other. They both got traded the last few days. Soto to the Mets, I think.
Yeah.
And then and then Sir Anthony. I love that name.
I know, it is a great
name. I thought
name
that's how you were telling the story because the names, because even the other guy's name was interesting.
Yeah, Warren Watts-Brown.
Yeah.
He just has to walk past his old teammates, though. It's so funny.
Yeah.
They're just waving at him. He's like, hey, guys.
What's up?
F you.
The NBA is going to play 6 games in Europe over the next 3 years, starting in Berlin and then London next season. The Wagner brothers will be getting a homecoming as we will get the Magic and the Grizzlies. They will play 2 games overseas, including one in Berlin where the Wagner brothers grew up, as well as played professionally before coming to America. Magic forward Travis De Silva is from Munich as well. And then the Grizzlies coach previously coached for the Telekom Basketball. The names of basketball teams in Europe blow my mind, but that was also a German team. So I guess we got a lot of German ties here. They will play at Berlin's Under Arena on January 15th and then at London's famous O2 Arena on January 18th. So the Grizzlies, controversial stuff here, won't be able to host a game on Martin Luther King Jr. Day on January 19th for just the 3rd time since the team moved to Memphis in 2001. Let's go play basketball in another foreign country and miss out on a tradition that the Grizzlies always have, playing at home on MLK Day. I'm so done with international stuff, Bob. It pisses me off to no end, to be quite honest.
Basketball doesn't bother you as much, though, right?
It's unnecessary. Like I just think it's like when you've got such a long season too. It's true. Like, why are you just making guys go take an international flight for no reason?
Well, remember, didn't they do a baseball game in London? Like
the Tokyo game?
They've been doing Japan.
Well, that was
Ohtani, though.
Yeah, that was at the beginning of the season. The London one, I think, was the Yankees.
You are right. That was like middle of the year.
Like middle of the season, man. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
And I guess some people would say, I don't know, if you're New York and you're flying to London, it's about the same distance as flying to LA. It's true, but still. By the way, LA and California, thoughts and prayers, man. The West Coast. Have you seen that whole deal?
I've only seen the tsunami stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hawaii.
And I don't know if anything's happened, but yeah, that they're all under a tsunami advisory. The whole West Coast.
Okay, interesting. Wow.
Now, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be as bad as expected or potentially expected, but still not pretty.
Did you ever experience any of that when you were out in California? I know you said you experienced an earthquake, but did you have any tsunami scares?
No, but that's just another that just reinforces my point about LA. I love visiting, but I don't want to live there because everything is extreme, man.
Yep.
Everything.
Yep.
It's crazy. Sorry, I digress.
No, you're good. Another extreme. Cincinnati Bengals pass rusher Trey Hendrickson plans to report to training camp today without being closer to a new contract, but it will end the daily $50,000 fines that Hendrickson was accruing by holding out. They're kind of hoping that showing up to camp will kind of ignite maybe some new sparks with extension talk between those two sides. Final player in the league to hold out of camp is Terry McLaurin. Ended his holdout, but isn't participating in on-field activities. Hendrickson kind of in the same boat there, but also held out of mandatory minicamp. Said that he won't play the 2025 season without a new contract. We'll see what happens there, but I feel like this is just your classic NFL news each year of some guy saying, "Oh, I'm not going to play this year without a new contract," and he continues to hold out, and then as you get closer and closer with camp continuing to happen and preseason rolling right along, eventually that front office is going to say, all right, I'll bend the knee. I'll create a new contract. And I would assume that we're going to get some Trey Hendrickson contract news here in the next week or so. That seems pretty seems like it's inevitable. It's just kind of a matter of when, not if at this point.
Smart move for both parties.
I agree.
50,000 starts adding up.
Yeah, he's probably like sitting on the beach. He's like, man, I'm not really I got a lot of money in the bank account right now, but 50 grand leaving every single day. That's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. I thought this was some fun college basketball news, Bob. Do you want to guess on whose Michigan basketball jersey is going to be going into the rafters?
Chris Webber.
Trey Burke.
He was player of the year, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he was fantastic.
Yeah.
Took him
championship.
Yeah. I had that one saved. I thought that one was interesting. Trey Burke was also a great young player in my in my young basketball mind, I guess.
They didn't win it though, right? They lost to Louisville.
Yeah.
I think it was who they played in the title game, but yeah.
I guess they kind of do Michigan fans maybe claim that though, because wasn't that the title that was
maybe, yeah,
that was taken away from Pitino?
Could be.
Trey Burke, jersey retired.
There you go.
Him and Spike Albrecht. Great team that was. This was a funny NBA thing that happened. 76ers GM Daryl Morey says NBA staff around the league agrees that the Lakers 2020 title isn't genuine. Agrees that it doesn't truly hold up as a genuine championship was basically the quote.
There's some talk like that. They did it about the Dodgers World Series that year too. It's like, it was in a controlled environment, shortened schedule, yada yada. So
how does that make you feel, Brett? Coming at
That's ridiculous.
Sixers GM coming at your guy LeBron.
He's a hater. A lot of people are haters of LeBron.
You're not doing anything right if you don't have haters, right?
No, yeah. I got him.
Wow. David Sanders has gone from 270 to 305 now.
Hell yeah. Get him out to Covenant Health Park next week.
Throwing the first pitch out or what?
No, the eat off.
The competition.
He could dominate, man.
I'm down with that too.
No, that's awesome though. That's awesome. He's going to be a horse. He's going to be a big boy. He's going to be a stud.
Are we talking about that O-line enough?
Probably not.
Like Lance Hurd really taking a jump in terms of health and like honestly looked a lot better in the back half of the season as he got a little more comfortable and a little more healthy.
Yeah.
You have 2 5-star tackles at the position now. A guy in Wendell Moe, who was one of the top O-line transfers, a guy that barely ever allowed a sack over at Arizona. Pendleton can play guard or center, a guy from Notre Dame.
Sergeant Sam.
Yeah, if you play offensive line at Notre Dame, I'm automatically going to give you a shot at being a good player. Satterwhite maybe at center or Umarov at guard if you throw Pendleton to center. I think that could be like a sneaky, really good offensive line maybe.
That's what I'm saying, man. That Neil Blackman guy yesterday had it right. He was like, why not us?
Yeah.
When he talked about Tennessee.
Yeah.
It's got me thinking we're going to sheep out here by the end of the month of August. We'll be predicting 11-1 by the end of August.
Lastly, breaking news before the end of headlines. Sophie Cunningham set to announce a podcast deal with Colin Coward's The Volume Media Company today. Pretty wild.
She is riding the wave.
She is
man.
absolutely riding the wave. She might be having a better season than Caitlin Clark at this point.
They're calling it the summer of Sophie.
She's gotten partners with Adidas, Ring, and Arby's, and now has a podcast deal, all for just being a good-looking woman sitting next to Caitlin Clark, basically.
Yeah, but she's
pretty solid.
She's got pretty good game as a basketball player. She's got really good game for social media, and that's what they're seeing. I mean,
yeah,
I saw her do her Ring advertisement, which was on social media, and she was great. I mean, she's kind of a natural, well-spoken, has real charisma. And then, yeah, she wore the Let the Hot Girls Eat Arby's t-shirt this past weekend on her walk-in.
Looks like she's going to be doing it with a guy from Bravo.
Interesting.
Wes Wilson.
Huh.
They're paying homage to their Missouri roots, and the show's named Show Me Something.
The trade from Phoenix to Indy was the best thing that could have ever happened to her, because she ended up being kind of besties with Caitlin, and then that just brings she's in the blast radius then, you know. She's capitalized. Good for her.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Sam, good batch of headlines. We got to hit a break. When we return, Jake Crain and Company. He'll be joining us. Jake's probably got a few opinions about things, both sports and otherwise. We'll get to that right after this. Stick around. It's Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
The flagship station for Tennessee fans. This is Fan Run Radio.
Knoxville, mark your calendars. Fan Run Night at the ballpark is back. Join us Wednesday, August 6th at Covenant Health Park as the Knoxville Smokies take on Biloxi and we take over the stands. It's all you can eat night, so make sure to bring your appetite. Plus, we're hooking up the fans with exclusive Fan Run swag giveaways you won't want to miss. Come hang with the Fan Run crew, rep your team, and enjoy a summer night of baseball, food, and fun. Fan Run Night, August 6th. Be there.
Hey Knoxville! Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Believe in family. Believe in your fellow man. Believe in honesty and an honest day's work. We do. We're Farm Bureau Insurance. And we don't just believe in Tennessee. We believe in Tennesseans. Farm Bureau Insurance. Tennessee's insurance company.
This is Baseball VFL Cody Brown. Farm Bureau Insurance is the official insurance for Tennesseans. Believe in me for all of your insurance needs. Give me a call at 865-992-3871.
In a world filled with deadlines and screens, sometimes we forget the simple joys of life, days filled with special moments. At Inward Half, we understand the essence of these moments. Feel the difference between our breathable fabrics and flexible apparel as you disconnect from the hustle and bustle and reconnect with what truly matters. Inward Half, simple luxury for on and off the course.
Airlines have just reduced their prices even more. Book 30 days in advance and save big.
Want the absolute lowest prices on your airline tickets? Then call the Low Cost Airlines Travel Hotline right now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. The only way to access our low rates and save up to 70% is to call. Save hundreds on your vacation tickets by calling right now. You can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-631-1754. 800-631-1754. 800-631-1754. That's 800-631-1754.
Welcome back. Been talking a lot of football today. 'Tis the season. Got to go there, right? The days are winding down. So let's widen the lens, get a little perspective from someone that's outside the Knoxville area code, in the same state, though. Does a fantastic job with his show, Crain and Company. Highly recommend you go check that one out. And we'll probably talk about some other odds and ends, too, as we like to do. We appreciate him hopping on. It's Jake Crain. Jake, how are you, man?
Oh, doing great, man. Fall camp has started, guys. We've officially made it. Got a little football on this Thursday, so I'm as happy as a hog in slop right now.
There you go. Let's rewind for a second, because a lot of this went down after we talked with you last week. And the level of, I don't know, kind of tone deafness maybe that we heard from namely the Big Ten in their media days. You know, their Commissioner Tony Petitti talked about, hey, it's okay to have 8-4 teams playing because we play in such a tough conference, and that's why we believe we deserve 4 guaranteed bids, and went on and on. But I mean, is there anybody outside the Big Ten that believes that that's a good path forward?
Well, look, I mean, I've heard, you know, a lot of different theories on basically all of it. My biggest thing, guys, is when I look at the Big Ten right now, I thought that the Big Ten believe they're the best conference in college football right now, yet they still want to chirp at the SEC. You know, the ACC saying stuff, that's like bragging about being the 4th skinniest kid at fat camp. Like that really doesn't matter. Nobody's impressed. Nobody cares. Y'all just better hope to fix basketball, or then no. The only 2 people that care about the ACC are Dabo Swinney and Danny Cannell. Those are the only 2. But when you look at the Big Ten, and they're talking like they're still the little brother, right? The big dog doesn't have to chirp. And if you're going to chirp, why don't you make the best argument possible instead of the scheduling narrative, which was the one that they used when they were the whipping boy of the SEC? Why not just say, we've won back-to-back national titles, we're the big dog now, you know, what do you have to say about that? So when it comes to the Big Ten, at the end of the day, when, you know, we can talk about format for the college football playoff and how they're at odds and ends with the SEC as well, but it just still feels like that. You know, like 2 years ago, I lost about 35 pounds. Thank goodness I've been able to keep it off. It's a struggle because I wake up at 1 a.m. and just want to go destroy the refrigerator every night. But sometimes I'll look in the mirror and I still see fat Jake. You know, sometimes you just don't get over it. And at this point, the Big Ten just needs to get over it. If you're a big dog, act like a big dog.
Jake, we've been talking, just obviously continuing kind of this Boo Carter situation, and I'm curious for you as a former coach, how do you kind of find the balance between setting a standard in your locker room and making sure you've got a healthy culture while also knowing that you've got an extremely talented player on the field and somebody like that who maybe brings a little bit of baggage off the field, but maybe what he brings on the field, the juice is kind of worth the squeeze. How do you kind of differentiate between that and when is enough in terms of kind of showing the guy a door potentially?
Yeah, well, look, choir boys don't win football games. They win singing contests. Like, the odds of you having just unbelievable stand-up individuals at every position, you want that. You hope that your culture can develop that. But it's just not the case. I can sit here and lie to you and tell you, we can all hold hands and sing Kumbaya and stare each other in the eyes. But the reality is, there's going to be some bumps along the way. Now, every circumstance is different, right? When you look at the Boo Carter and the Nico thing, the odds that it happened twice to Tennessee, I don't think is indicative of Josh Heupel. I just think sometimes it just works out that way. But again, you have to attack every situation differently. The thing with Nico, a lot of that was his dad. I mean, like, let's sit here and lie to me at Big Ten media days or whatever, but we all know what happened. I don't know with Boo Carter exactly what was going on. If there was, this negotiation process, or there was accusations of this or accusations of that, but you have to attack every situation different, and that's what Josh Heupel did. Now, you've got to be consistent, right? Because you can fool a lot of people. You can fool the fans, you can fool the media, but you can't fool the guys in that locker room. So I trust Coach Heupel to make a decision that he thinks will reverberate. Sorry, that's the biggest word I know. I had to use it in the locker room in a positive way, and he's shown he can do that at Tennessee. So I trust Josh Heupel and his decision making. I don't think this was oh no, we already lost Nico, so these guys can just take everything they want and it's all fine. I think it's a little bit more nuanced than that.
Deion Sanders. Were you like us? Because when they were talking about the whole press conference that he was having and his oncologist was going to be there and his athletic trainer with the program was going to be there, there was at least some reverberations around here that, man, Deion might be calling it. You know, it might be something pretty dire and serious stuff. And I'm happy that it seems like he's beating it, but then he also made sure he turned it into a bit of an advertisement for Depends. But I digress. But what do you think his longevity plan looks like? I mean, is this a guy who maybe only has a couple more seasons coaching or not? Because obviously there's just some wear and tear that comes with the job in general, and he's already facing a lot of challenges.
Yeah, well, anytime you hear the word oncologist, it's never good.
Right.
I've never heard anybody be like, hey, I'm bringing my oncologist, and it all work out. I mean, even the parties, because you typically just say their name. But as far as Prime, I'm not a doctor. I don't know, how long you can sustain being effective enough, or if you got to kind of slide into the background and let other coaches kind of carry even more weight. So I'm, opining on that. I would just truly be guessing and speculating. Number one, I'm just glad he's all right.
Right.
Glad the surgery went well. And, I'm a little bit on the different side of the press conference for two reasons. I can't be hypocritical. Bruce Pearl and Auburn, I don't know if he did this at Tennessee, they always have an outlive event, which is fighting cancer. And, when game day shows up, they wear the shirts to go get checked and get screened and stuff like that. And it's a really big deal. So using that press conference, even if one person, after listening to that press conference, goes and gets checked and they're able to be cured because Deion said that, I think it would be worth it. The second thing is, with the way recruiting is now, when there's a health issue, and we saw this with Hugh Freeze and Auburn, there's accusations, and again, I don't know if they're true, but I, would tend to believe them, of Ole Miss using his cancer diagnosis against him. It's one thing to put out a statement that says, hey, I'm okay, everything's great, I got my bladder removed, this, that, and the other. It's another thing to see a person in action, talking and working. And so when they go and try and negative recruit against Deion and say, well, look, he's obviously really sick and he's not going to be there that long, you actually got to see the person with your own eyes. So I think it helps on that front too. I mean, Prime even went on a social media post to talk to recruits about, hey, I'm fine, regardless of what anybody says about me, this, that, and the other. So I think there's a couple of different ways to look at the press conference. And then, guys, look, Prime's going to do it big. He's built for the lights, man. And it is an advertisement. What did they say in Glenn Ross? Always be closing.
We talk a lot about coaches that kind of have something to prove leading into this college football season. Is there a specific player out there that you feel like has a lot to prove, or maybe is just a guy that has a lot of money to be made, a guy that you really believe in, that you feel like with a productive season this year can really kind of skyrocket themselves for their NFL career? Or do you feel like a guy, maybe there's somebody out there that has been sleeping a little bit that you feel like has the ability to get woken up here this year and really get back into national prominence?
Well, a player that I think is really talented, but still has a lot to prove to the college football realm is John Mateer at Oklahoma. I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's going to have a big time year, but people are saying, oh, well, this is the SEC. This isn't Washington State. You got to go prove it against the best. And I think he can, and I think he will. That's how talented he is. I mean, if we're just talking in general about who's got the most to prove, you ain't got to look far to see it's Arch Manning when you have that amount of hype. But as far as somebody that I think could actually really burst onto the scene and end up possibly being a top 2, top 3 draft pick, I look at John Mateer, and I think he has a chance to be special.
Talking with Jake Crain of Crain and Company. Got to say, you're, and I noticed you made a comment about it too. There's a quote that's going around from your head football coach at Auburn, Hugh Freeze.
Yeah.
You need length and girth in this league. And just left it at that.
And in college football.
Yeah, exactly.
Phrasing. And look, he's not wrong. It's just, can we just say, you need big bodied guys to push people around this thing? I mean, I don't think you could have had a more that's what she said moment than saying that you need length and girth in this league. Size does matter. You're not going to get to England in a rowboat. So at the end of the day, just win, man. I don't care. Just please win. Like I could care less. The golf thing, the length and girth thing, the golfing while having length and girth thing. I don't care. Just please, God, win, please.
You mentioned the Hall of Fame game at the start of this, Jake, and I want to get your takes on that. Is that how long are you going to last in the Hall of Fame game? Are you like watch a quarter and get your fix in and then kind of wait, or are you just going to go full sicko mode and just watch all 4 quarters and roll around in the mud like a pig, like you said?
Yeah, no, I get like Ed Reed said, I got my heart in this stuff, dog. Now we'll be in Boston. Actually, we're flying out tomorrow afternoon, but we'll land before the game. So what I'm hoping to do, if my wife will let me, is to be able to watch that game in a pub in Boston, which would be pretty dope. But regardless, I'm going to be locked in for it. I'm like Louis Lastic from Remember the Titans. Somebody says football, and I come a-running.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday. I heard it on some other national radio show, but it was actually a good one, that the Hall of Fame game is a little bit like bubble gum. Like when you chew it at the beginning, it's glorious, it's amazing. And then, you get about an hour in and you're like, man, what am I chewing on? There's nothing here.
Well, it depends on if you bet on it or not.
Well, that's true.
What betting is for. That's what betting is for. But no, I typically just enjoy watching it. It's kind of, again, that mile marker, heading toward the football season in general. More than anything, because obviously there's really no consequence for the game, but I'm just excited. It's that time of year again, man. It's Christmas.
Definitely. Jumping over to baseball real quick. Speaking of things like, we talk about, we will be tuned in for the Hall of Fame game tomorrow night. You have any just morbid curiosity more than anything else? Well, I think you're a Braves fan, aren't you?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, sorry about that. So Sam, but so's Brett. Everybody in this room except me is a Braves fan. But who
are you a fan of?
The Dodgers.
I know. Don't.
Anyway, nice talking to you guys.
Yeah. Don't judge. I grew up as a kid up in the Midwest in Indianapolis, and I hated the Reds. And back then, the Dodgers and Reds were in the NL West together, and the Braves. Yeah. And I had a bunch of their cards, and I just adopted them. And then I lived in LA for 6 or 7 years, so that was even better. So I've been there for the long haul. But
well, I'll give you a pass on this one.
Thank you. But morbid curiosity, will that still lead you, to watch some of this Bristol game that's coming up this weekend? Because our guy Trey Wallace took some pictures of the setup. It does look pretty awesome.
No, I mean, look, I played baseball in college, so I love baseball. Yeah. I'll watch. My grandmother's 86 years old, and she watches all 162 of the Braves games.
Bless her soul.
I'm telling her it's bad for her health, but she doesn't listen to me, and she shouldn't. But at the end of the day, yeah, I'm going to watch it. It's a cool event. I like when they do stuff like that. They're going to pack it out. So yeah, I will be watching.
What are your thoughts on this Christian Wilkins situation going down in Las Vegas? It's obviously you're still kind of waiting on maybe some more details that come out of it and stuff like that. But is that a talented enough player? Kind of, the point that I was making earlier with the Boo Carter stuff. Is that a guy that you keep around just because of what he can do on the field, or do you feel like what they were doing was kind of justified in that sense?
Well, look, I don't know the whole story. I saw a report. Didn't they say he tried to kiss a guy on the forehead or something?
Yes.
I mean, listen, just make plays. I mean, at the end of the day, Michael Sam was a baller for Missouri. It's just, you got to understand circumstance and location. Again, if there's other stuff going on, there is some suspect tape of Christian Wilkins during games, even at Clemson. Go back and watch the North Carolina game. He did some things that, in some states, well, most states, you serve prison time for. But at the end of the day, look, love who you want to love. But if you're getting after the passer on third down, I can find a soft spot in my heart for you.
Yeah, absolutely. One more. We got to hit, because I saw you posted on it. Sam finally watched it last night. We pretty much all watched it. What? Give us your grade on Happy Gilmore 2.
C-. C-. You got to understand what it is going into it. But like, I don't know why we make sequels for some movies. Like The Matrix, I get it. Totally get it. Sometimes Harry Potter makes a ton of sense. It's a long story you got to tell. I don't understand why you did this. Now, it obviously went bonkers on Netflix, probably made a lot of money. There were some parts. Scotty Scheffler getting rearrested was funny. DeChambeau was funny. But outside of that, man, I just maybe it's because I'm not 14 anymore. It just didn't hit the way that it hit. And I don't think you need to make a sequel to that movie. I just don't. So C-, and I like Adam Sandler. So that's a C- grading on a curve.
Yeah, I felt I think we all agreed there were too many cameos that almost made it hard to watch. Not, just okay, who's that? Okay, yeah, great, get it. The other thing too, and you touched on it, we touched on this earlier. I think it's tough to take something that was successful roughly 30 years ago and make it apply again in this era. Top Gun was able to pull it off, and I think that's rare. I think it's very rare.
Well, that's because you got jets going around fighting each other. I mean, that's always going to be cool. That's why sometimes maybe a remake is better than a sequel.
Yeah, that's an interesting point too. All right, man. Well, as always, we love spending time with you and catching up. Can't thank you enough for hanging with us. Do you guys have a show today or not?
Listen to this one. We got the top 10 college football revenge games of 2025 So you're going to want to lock in and it's not on will this take you to the championship? It's like hate. It's based on who wants revenge the most. It's an ego thing. So check that out at 2 p.m. Central on Crain Company.
Definitely. And if you post some socials, we'll reshare it. We'll repost it because that just sounds like a must watch. I'm all for that. I got to see it.
Dude, we got some good ones too, and some you didn't even think of.
That's awesome. Hey, buddy, listen, thanks again. Appreciate you hopping on. Hope you have a great show today. Great rest of the week and weekend, and look forward to catching up with you the next time.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Jake.
See you, Jake. That's a great.
I like that.
That's a great show topic.
Yep.
We got to steal that.
I like that a lot.
Vandy Bama.
Yeah, it's immediately what kind of went into my mind.
Yeah. There's another one that came out. We'll save it for tomorrow about the best. They ranked the 10 best border state rivalries. It's kind of interesting because we're in there and it's not for Kentucky. Okay. We'll talk about that tomorrow though. Little tease. All right, let's hit a final break. When we return, got to play a little not for nothing, but some weird actors out there in the world of sports recently. Weird things being said, weird things being done. We'll talk about it when we return. Stick around. It's under review on Fan Run Radio.
You're locked onto Fan Run Radio, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and online at fanrunradio.com.
Yeehaw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-88-99789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires. Just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776. Or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Every 40 seconds, a child goes missing somewhere in the U.S. You can help in the effort to find missing kids simply by donating your car or boat to Find the Children, a nonprofit organization dedicated to returning missing children to their families. Find the Children works closely with national and community agencies and organizations and helps distribute flyers and posters that are directly responsible for recovering missing kids. Your car or boat donation helps protect and recover children in every state and community by sponsoring child safety and recovery programs. For fast, free pickup, call anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Running or not, your car, truck, van, RV, or boat will be towed away free of charge. Fast, free pickup, plus it's tax deductible. Everyone wins when you donate your car or boat to Find the Children.
Call right now. 800-466-8813. 800-466-8813. That's 800-466-8813.
In the Smoky Mountain Sun, WKTN. In the Smoky Mountain Sun, in the Smoky Mountain Sun.
Want to thank our guests for today. Chris Lowe, first time on the show. I'd say he delivered. Had a really nice conversation with him. Hope to do it again soon. And then Jake Crain, of course. Always fun when Jake gets on with us. One thing we haven't talked about yet, but just spend a quick minute on, we were so amped about these exhibition basketball games that Tennessee had scheduled with Michigan and Duke. Well, the Duke game in Knoxville is happening, okay? That's a go. It's going to be a sellout. It's going to be electric. Cannot wait. But apparently, Sam, Michigan has kind of backed out on the exhibition matchup with us.
Scared.
No doubt. If you're scared, get a dog, man. Don't like it. Makes me mad.
I wanted to play them.
For
I thought
sure.
we'd have I feel like Tennessee and Michigan would be just stylistically a really awesome game this year. Just
Yeah.
kind of, we know Dusty May likes to have his big boys in there. Feel like Tennessee is a little bit bigger of a team this year as well. Maybe a little bit of some just question marks, maybe kind of at some of the guard positions for Michigan. I think Tennessee kind of falls in that same boat. I just think stylistically that would have been a really fun one. So I am disappointed to see this one not come through.
I agree. And it was at Michigan. That's the other thing. It's not like they had to travel here or anything else. So I'm going to be curious because I know Coach Barnes loves to get these tough matchups, even if it's an exhibition, and in the past couple of years, it's only been one game. It was Michigan State 2 years ago. Shout out Dalton Connect's coming out party. And then Indiana last year. And now we still have Duke, which is going to be awesome. But, boy, I'd love to get a second one. That would be fantastic. But Michigan, top 10 program preseason, just a bummer.
You have anybody in mind just off the top of your head? I was just thinking about like St. John's or something like somebody tough and Patino. And,
the travel would be hard, but, rematch with UCLA from the tournament.
we were going to go to Ann Arbor, so I don't see why we wouldn't go up there. But who knows?
Yeah. There's some good teams. Louisville. I'm trying to think of some geographically close, but
we already play Louisville in the regular season.
That's it. That's my point.
Oh,
so
okay.
I didn't finish my thought there, but yeah, I think that's a bummer. That's truly a bummer. Real quick, a little not for nothing, but I just have one, Sam. I don't know if you saw this, but Tom Brady, not for nothing, Tom Brady, but zip it. He essentially questioned Scotty Scheffler's comments a few weeks back about prioritizing family over golf. He said he doesn't understand why Scheffler would say that would happen. And he said, why are those, and meaning being a great dad rather than being a great golfer, why are those mutually exclusive? Brady says he has a pyramid that he puts himself at the top of and prioritizing the most important things in life as they come. It's tough to take advice from a guy who pretty much put football front and center and ended up getting a divorce. Not a fan here.
No, Brady's 100% in the right, man. I mean, his wife cheated on him with a jiu-jitsu instructor. What do you mean? He prioritizes all the right things.
That's because he wasn't around, man.
Yeah.
That's the whole deal.
Shut up, Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I think Scotty Scheffler's doing just fine, man.
Exactly.
Multiple ways to skin a cat.
Yeah. Yeah. And then did you see the thing about Marcus Morris?
I did, yeah.
Was
That
this
crazy.
the casino stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see
fraud.
this.
Talk about ruining your life. Not to mention you might go to jail, for allegedly stealing over $250,000 from the MGM Grand and the Wynn by passing bad checks. He also was working as a studio analyst for ESPN. So that's
They were working on getting him a deal.
Yeah.
Full time.
yeah, that's over, I would say.
Something about yachts and
Yeah.
everything like that in
Jesus.
Miami. Like, it's bad.
Yeah, not good. Not good. Not for nothing, but Marcus Morris, get a good lawyer. Better lawyer up. All right, boys. Good show today.
He was denied bond, by the way.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to jail. Love it. Well, he's in jail. That's what we're saying. He's already there. Sam, great work by you today. Thank you. Brad, appreciate you. Jake, you too. Appreciate your help. You, the listener, thank you so much for listening. Keep it locked in on Fan Run Radio. The Chase with Chase Thomas next, followed by The Drive, and then The Slate. Full day of programming. Until tomorrow, have a great day. We'll see you then.
Check out our new and improved